By the end of this 2-hour video, you're going to understand SEO on a deeper level than most agencies, experts, and consultants. Before we continue, please pause and read this disclaimer. Everything in this video is publicly available data online. These are my opinions based on my understanding and my deduction of the information that is publicly available at the time of this recording. So before we dive into the training, I need you to understand that legally, SEO, even if you take an agency to court, means clicks to your website. That is the only thing that the lawyers and or judge cares about. You got clicks to your website, you paid for SEO. So there's two types, just so you understand. One, clicks to your website. Two, calls to your business where you make more money. And that is the only type of SEO that I believe in. That is the only type of SEO that I have ever done. And every time I've come across people that are paying $2,000, $3,000 a month for blogs and backlinks, yeah, 90% of those people never make any money. So we're going to talk about GeoGrids. We're going to talk about leads lists, as you should have a ton of form fill outs to your website. If you're paying a marketing agency, there's no reason why they can't get you results if they know what they're doing. And when you are well established for a keyword, you will be making money. So I can scroll month over month over month and over another month just to let you understand that, yes, absolutely, regardless if you have some massive margin business or a smaller margin business, you will be making money on a daily basis when SEO is done right. It's the agency's job to pay for themselves so they can keep you as a client. So I'm going to play this review video for you here. This is the expectation when you hire if you're a service-based business or in general. Remember, there are people out there right now charging absurd amount of money to write blogs and backlinks, and they do not do local SEO, which is the one for any local business that needs more clients.
But where did you guys start at with revenue before, you're working with a bunch of agencies? You were at X, and then we came on, and now you're at Y. So I was gonna let you take the.
Yeah, we worked with, I think, 2 or 3 different agencies before we started working with you guys. We were very, very slowly growing, but we had hit a plateau that we just could not break through. I think over 3 or 4 years with other.
And 70%, 60 to 70% of their website was duplicate content, and all that agency was doing was duplicating location pages and making more of them. Just 2 location pages a week, just duplicate, post, and it was sad.
Other agencies, like the highest revenue we got as a company was like $600,000. We've been with you guys probably close to a year now, if not maybe slightly more.
It was about 13 months.
But yeah, we went from revenue 600,000 to this year we're on track to do 1.2 million or more. So it's.
And you're welcome to watch that on the website, but you'll specifically hear them say from a consumer's perspective.
Nowadays, because there's so many like sketchy ones out there, it's like everybody and their mother wants to try to be a marketing person and thinks they know what they're doing, when in fact they're just copying and pasting and sticking things up there. And us as the consumer, we don't know what to look for. But luckily, I found you guys.
And that's what we're going to go over in these videos. We're going to teach you what to look for. Like, here's a pressure washing company, right? I can't confirm or deny if the person's making money, but you see service pages, you see service area pages, you see a bunch of links on the top up here. But what you don't see is probably the site :search where they only rank for one page. And then when we take this company's information and we go over to the platforms that we're going to review right here, you would come to the absolute same conclusion as me. It's zeros across the board. That doesn't look good. So I appreciate you for being here. Enjoy this video. It's going to be very long, but I'm going to be doing a lot of reviewing and a lot of educating because I cannot stop agencies from selling services. I can only educate the buyer to better understand the service that they are about to purchase. Because when I tell you legally, even if you hire an agency and you lose money, they did their service. You signed for that service. And I have heard judges say to business owners, well, you hired a marketing agency to do SEO, not lead generation. And then boom, business owner loses. So I want to put the power back into the business owner's hands. Enjoy this video. So if you're watching this on our website or YouTube, you will see that there's information listed above or below. There will be links to these platforms that we're utilizing, but number one is a detailed extension. This allows us to see in quick read title, meta description, word count, and H tag structure, which is something that you're going to see here when we review this website that unfortunately looks like it has a ton of pages, but only ranks for one. And we're going to show you some other websites in this video where this one has hundreds of pages. And unfortunately, if you stop working with that person, you do not own your websites. There's companies out there that have pretty bad reputations online where you're going to have to use your own user discretion. I'm going to show you, and you can once again watch videos about why I got into this in the first place, which this one right here was a person who genuinely said they got money and this is their client. And then I call the person and they never heard of the guy. This guy fake cold calling people. And even when I went to the industry professionals that apparently have written books and have companies, well, they ended up making confession videos saying that they're telling people to rank for keywords that aren't going to make them money. And then they tell people that have agencies, your clients will leave you before you get them to rank, which is insane to me. So down below this video, if you're on the website, you're going to see a review from somebody who was able to double their revenue through SEO. Let me start off on a platform that's completely free. Do not pay for it unless you are an agency that requires it. So this is a basic platform, SEMrush, super free. Sign up under an email. If you go search a bunch of websites and it prompts you to you ran out of your 10 free, sign in under the new email. Have a great day. So paste your website up here. Just make sure you're in a domain overview. Paste your website. Click the United States. Sometimes you're going to get different results here. It might show you more. Click the United States or whatever country you're in. And if you paid somebody to build a website, even if it's just a one-time website, and you see zeros here, they probably didn't do much researching on the content. And they might have done so little research on the content that this website that we're looking at specifically right here still has blogs from 2022 that are left on their website that are literally sitting in a complete foreign language. So couldn't tell you if this website was built for free or costed money. If you're ever wondering, this agency built a website, let's, look at their work, just search quotes. So this is like do your own research type stuff instead of letting an agency say, hey, here's these people that I can lead you to over here, check out these leads, right? Do your own research, request actual people you can talk to that have had a good experience. Like we have a sales course. You can watch the video reviews of people that have used the sales course. Not everybody's experience is going to be the same because not everybody's going to listen and pick up the phone and cold call 100 people a day like a crazy person. Some people will, most people won't. But right here, you can quote search and you can find other websites that people have built. And then you'll usually come across that a lot of people are utilizing kind of template builds. They look really similar to each other, like this footer's empty. We'll talk about that soon. But what I want you to take away first from this video is just a simple platform that you can look at. And you can see, okay, there's no AI search over here. So that means that there's probably problems. You scroll down and you can see that, okay, we're ranking for these in our map pack because we have a Google profile, but we're also sitting in position 86, 60, and 49, which is abnormal. And now I want to show you a compare and contrast report. So if you look at this one, pay attention to the AI visibility, pay attention to the organic traffic, organic keywords right here. And these are the reports that matter. They should be technically going up to the right, but the only thing I believe that should go up to the right is your bank account. All right, so you're going to see a compare and contrast. These are both 2 years, so I'm going to move this to a year. This one, I'm going to move this one to a year as well. And you notice when you change around these years, don't let people convince you that, oh, this, that. Trust me, I have been on calls with agencies that have done nothing than increase the number of impressions. Oh, we're optimizing for impressions. 8 months in, $1,800 a month, 4 clicks to their website for, I think it was kitchen remodeling and bathroom remodeling. Didn't even rank for keywords that were going to generate them revenue. Never even built a page. Said, you guys, you do countertops? You install countertops? And they said, they look at me when I met them, said, yeah. And I said, oh, well, your website doesn't even have a countertop service page. And then that's when you got to realize some business owners do not look into their websites very often. It's why sometimes, yeah, it's business owner's fault for hiring a person and not doing enough research, but it's also the agency's fault for just selling something they didn't know how to do. Now, 90% of the time, these agencies never teach you how to do your own research, because if you can research on a high enough level, well, then you can understand if they're doing their job or they're not doing their job. Because this, I have a much in depth process to this, but this is your general basic look. Like, did they even try to structure your stuff correctly? Because here's a one time website build, right? AI visibility, traffic share, keywords moving up and down. There is no monthly SEO applied to this at all. And what you can see is the business did not exist. And then now the business is in a pretty great place. It's going up to the right. Traffic's kind of staying where it's at. As time goes on, the internet obviously changes and makes certain things more valuable than others. But if you write your content correctly, you should be going up to the right. Now, it depends on businesses too, as well. There is a unique scenario for each one of them, but in a general world, there should be some AI visibility if there's even content that makes sense on the website. So you can see AI visibility is an indicator, because both of these websites that I'm looking at are about 10-page websites. And that's a 10-page website, and this is a 10-page website. And you can see that there's a massive difference to it. I can even take a website just to show you this. I could take a website that has hundreds of pages on it. I believe this one has about 700 pages. So don't think that if someone's building you a ton of website pages that it's somehow going to impact how much money you're going to be making as a business. Because now this website is hundreds of pages and it went up, but it stopped at about 6 to 10 to 11 keywords. It's at 6, 7, 8, 9, floated from for a whole month here under one keyword. Traffic was here, and then it did its next jump because maybe the business owner was like, hey, something hasn't really changed. So boom, hopefully not some sort of black hat technique here that's going to be a problem later. So just once again, slow and steady always wins the race. And that is just SEO, websites being built correctly. People are going to be able to make more money. It is a system, there is an SOP strategy. And I would sometimes go as far, if you're a business owner and you have been kind of just, screwed over many times, ask them if they have an SOP strategy. There's a lot of questions you can ask agencies. Like, for instance, well, have you worked with anybody else that does landscaping? And it's a little bit of a trap question, but a lot of them will say, oh, yeah, we've done that. Well, do you have any examples around here that you can show me of websites you built? And if their immediate answer is, well, unfortunately, we can't give you examples here because we follow a strict rule of we're not going to build your website and then your competitor's website and then their competitor's website, because once again, I come into that constantly where you got your website built by an agency, and so did your competitor, and their competitor got it, and six other people in the same town are all in the same exact strategy as one another, and one of you will suffer. And I'm not going to mention any names of companies that do that, but it's a very common strategy that we come across. And sometimes those businesses are going to run out of money because they charge around $9,000 a month. And spending $9,000 a month for multiple months getting told, oh, it's just going to take time, or, oh, well, just this and that and that. People are really good at selling you into stuff, but the fulfillment is lacking. So this is one platform that you can go to be able to kind of determine, what am I paying for, and is it even possibly looking like it's working? Once again, this is based on the fact that you obviously are able to look at your own contract, tell what you're being sold, because unfortunately in court, yeah, if you signed the dotted line for 4 blogs and 2 backlinks and you're not making money, and they send you some vanity metric reports, which, by the way, I looked at those a week ago from a pretty big place. Once again, not going to mention names here, but looked at those from a pretty big place, and oh wow, you're ranking for this random word that has nothing to do with you making money. I said, are there any sort of reports here that show how many leads you got, or how many phone calls you got, or can they contribute any of their work to money made? 99% of them can't, but you signed the contract for blogs and backlinks. So there's a lot of people that sign those contracts, and then they do some international strategy where they're going to get you backlinks from random countries when you're not even in the same country. It's just, well, as I mentioned before, there's 2 different types of SEO. So let's go into the second layer, right? So if we grab this business here and we look at this one, which we're gonna do a little bit of a shift. We're gonna show you now how to use what I've given you. Okay. So sorry about that. There's so much to talk about that I will record this video 15 times over because I realize, oh, geez, as I go, you got to explain this, you got to explain that. They should understand this. When they're looking at that report there, yeah, it depends on the business is where it's at. How does that business generate revenue? Even if it's just SEO, sometimes those reports do look like dog crap. Like let me show you two things real quick before I move on. Right. So this business, 100 leads since June 15th. Okay. So those are just form fill outs, not even counting calls to a website. If we bring them up on the exact same search that I showed you, well, it doesn't look like since June they've been going down this direction and they're still generating more leads every month. So now let's dig into a website, talk about a little bit of structure, show you some cool things you can do. Now, 90% of the time, I don't even start on a website. I just go right here and I click this. Oops, sorry, not the back button. I go right here, I do site colon enter. And if I only see one page, I say, yep, you didn't get a website. Somebody did something somewhere wrong. 90% of the time, you can tell that something somewhere has been done wrong. What you can do is you can do like a who is GoDaddy lookup, and you can who is GoDaddy search the domain to see when it was actually registered. And I'm going to show you some massive problems with this domain right here. But you can go search up that domain. You can see when it was created. If it's a newer domain, okay, 2026 7 2022. So it's relatively been out for, let's say, maybe 2, possibly 3 weeks. Today is August 8th. So that website has been done relatively new. Okay. Now we're going to get to why that's a pretty important piece of the puzzle. It's called a 301 redirect. And if you don't know what a 301 redirect is, don't accidentally ever rebuild someone's website without actually 301 redirecting service pages, because then you just cut their entire business down. Yeah, I'm new to the industry. Oh, you could totally use a different website. Let's rebuild that website for you. Oh, let me change your URL structure without properly implementing 301 redirects. And you were getting traffic on this page and now you're not, because I've actually seen that with therapists that are paying for blogs and they had a 301, well, they had the wrong redirect. So they had a page that was making the money and then the agency said delete. And the agency just had no idea what happened. I did. Business owner didn't. Agency was the one that caused the problem in the first place. You think they're going to cause a problem that they know how to fix? No. So, anyways, when we're looking at this website right here, what's the first thing that stands out to you? Okay, it's got professional pressure washing, city, state. That's great. Grab our tool. Okay. So, #1 pressure washing, and then mentions 2 locations. You mentioned one location that matches your Google profile. And just to pull this one up, we'll do this GRENVILETN. Hit that. This is supposed to match wherever you're actually located. And now here's where we start diving into deeper types of things. Okay. If your Google profile looks like this, that is because your service area is maybe broken, I would say in this case. Possibly, I would personally believe this is broken due to the fact that that is our service area. This is our targeting of our main service. And then all the way down here in Powell. So, how far is Greenville from Powell, Tennessee? How far is Greenville from Powell, Tennessee? Yeah, that's not Greenville, Greenville. So Greenville, Tennessee from Powell, Tennessee. Yeah, that's an hour away. Most people probably don't want leads that are an hour and a half away from their business, but I could be wrong here, so I can't tell you that that is incorrect. I can only tell you that it's extremely abnormal to have a service area Google business profile and then have a random circle somewhere where you actually, right, here's the perfect part, don't even have a service page for. So I'm pretty sure that was unintentional, and we're just going to go with, yeah, you tell me. If you had a pressure washing company and you were targeting a city and state, would you want another targeting over there? Now, this is where having a trained eye comes into place. Because did you see it? Did you see the issue before we even left this page? Right? Look at everything. Because right here you can see call or text us for free gutter cleaning, roof blow off estimates. This number is 2223. This number is 2234. And the 609 does not match the 831. So that tells me, oh, hey, something's wrong here. So where you would have just kind of naturally went through this and looked at that and looked at the updates on the profile and looked for this being finished, right? The description's there, has base information. You would catch your eye on that. And then by catching your eye on that, you would have just caught a much bigger problem. there's an entirely different website right here. And that's why I showed you about this platform, because we can see on 7/22/2026 they created that domain, but this domain was created in 2025 last year. So they took a domain that they had, and instead of 301 redirecting the traffic that most likely existed, which actually after searching seems to have not existed. Sometimes I do double check this platform here. We're going to go review one of the influencer people online that influence SEO, and the fun part about, content online and all of this other stuff, I believe, is yep, looks like whatever was working was getting traffic, and then right around, I think it was somewhere around here, Google did a pretty big update, and then it just kind of fell down to the ground. So going from like 14,000 peaks to just being all the way down here, and then having to relearn it all over again. And that's abnormal out of websites to go up and then crash back down. So let's just go double check this platform right here to see if there was anything with this business. Nope. Just looks like a bunch of spammy domains are pointed at it, which is totally normal. Some people, spam you with domains, and there's a 404 instead of a 301. Now, that's a problem. That's a problem, that there is legitimately a business out there that has an active Google profile, has an active website, and now has mismatch between its Facebook website, its Google profile website. There's an address here when it's a service area GMB. I think this address links to a bush. Yep, address links to a bush. There's name, address, phone number that should be implemented on the bottom of a website. And you'll see on the bottom of this website, they linked this map when there's the correct map to link. And the correct map to link is this map. Go ahead and show you. All you do is go to the Google profile, you grab this. I would really highly consider fixing that service area issue. And you can see how that service area targets just right there. And then also that service area targets this larger area, which is fine. I don't know their exact targeting. I mean, if they're trying to just serve that area, they could do that. I'm not here to consult on that side. So that would have been the correct map to embed, makes it a lot easier. Because if somebody actually is on the website and says, opening Google Maps, like, where's this place at? It sends us here, which could be the place that it's at, but the building is a picture of a tree. And a lot of people will always link you to the building instead of the business. That's a very common thing you'll come across, is links to the building instead of the business. And now you can see, okay, there's a 609 number here. So 609, right? And this ends in 8980. I want you to pay attention to that. So the number on the website is different than the number on the Google profile, but the number on Bing matches the website. So what you start recognizing here is just every single kind of new person that comes along. I don't know if the business owner's doing it. I don't know if the marketing agency's doing it, but every single thing that's done without supervision from a professional is usually something that needs to be redone, unless you guessed correctly or got the right information and did it yourself. Like, I'm a big believer on, yeah, you're welcome to go guess SEO, and I'm sure you can get some results, and there may be some courses out there that show you how to run Facebook ads, but I think most of the business owners that are going to be serious about scaling will inevitably have to hire a marketing agency. It's great if you already know how to do things so you know what to expect. Like, where I've literally seen a court case where a person paid a marketing agency, it's like $2,300 a month, and was in such a bad position that they actually couldn't even afford to pay the marketing agency anymore and wanted to get out of the contract. And the marketing agency said no. They made a mistake by doing the chargebacks, which was unjust enrichment. But long story short, after that guy fired the marketing agency, he used ChatGPT and did a better job. So there's people out there that are doing a worse job than ChatGPT, and trust me, ChatGPT is not. ChatGPT, to anybody who's in this industry, is MS Paint. You can draw things and make pictures. That's cute. But that is not what you need, because you need to understand how to prompt it, and you need to understand how to correct it, because it tells you a bunch of stuff that's like, in what world where there's a licensed contractor would I not choose the word licensed? Like, they don't even know how to write sentences. So right here you see, oh, wrong website domain. should have 301 redirected it, but instead of 301 redirecting it, put it to a broken domain. So takeaway from these types of websites that you're inevitably going to come across. All right, let me go ahead here, go to this actual website, open it up. Takeaway is when you see a website that might look really professional, thrown together, 9 times out of 10, these are done on some sort of AI platform. And that is a very common thing that's happening nowadays. Like you can see that the business actually has the address listed here and goes to this, but the address is not listed here. So maybe they're working on fixing that. I couldn't tell you. It's been like this for quite a while. I saw a TikTok video where some guy talking about building websites shared this website, and that's what led me to the website. And I said, well, what? This person builds websites. And you can actually even go into the site map. You can see what's sitting here. There's blogs, location pages. Look at this. Here's the thing. Greenville, Tennessee driveway sidewalk cleaning. Greenville, Tennessee roof cleaning. Greenville, Tennessee concrete. Their website already mentioned Greenville, Tennessee. So you put concrete paver washing. You put commercial pressure washing. You don't put your location and then your service. You can, but nobody that I know that is doing this, that is achieving very good results, is pushing this type of strategy. Like maybe a last ditch strategy to get a page to rank, would you put, post construction cleaning and then your city name? That is like the last ditch strategy. It is not common to do that, but well, you can tell when you, once again, last takeaway here, you can take this website, you can search that page, and you can say, hey, a page with a bunch of EM dashes, a number that's not linked. There's no real content on here, just one paragraph sitting there. And then what I want you to do to just kind of validate this yourself is, yeah, just go here, cite that, boom, search, doesn't exist. So right there, what I just showed you is an example of a website that was created and published online, and it's just a landing page. The marketing person that did it just kind of must have, I don't know, couldn't tell you. I didn't go that far into it. But that is sometimes right there, looks like a website, seems like a website, feels like a website. It's nothing but one page that Google doesn't even put in front of anybody. So now that you understand two platforms, you understand SEMrush, you understand how to go kind of research websites a little bit, determine whether or not the website is a website. You know what this is supposed to look like. You know what this tool can do for you right here. Let's go look at another agency. Let's go take a dive in. Let's go see what we have going on over here in a sense of going to, I think it's results. And once again, these are all based on just people have reached out to me and asked, "Hey, what do you think's going on over here?" And I say, "Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me. You're kind of working with somebody and your competitors working with that same person and it's just going to be a nightmare." And pause really quickly. Someone over here asked, "What's my take on Reddit strategically for SEO? Do you think it's okay to engineer Reddit discussions for SEO purposes? You do whatever you want." Because most people that I know in certain industries, custom home builders and so forth, they don't really go and spend that much time reading through random articles online that aren't actual published documents from the legitimate business owner. So there's tons of people online that want to jump through stuff. And on top of that, the reason they asked that is because Reddit and Google did a deal together. What did Reddit recently say about the giant influx of people trying to abuse the platform for SEO? And it's a well-known thing. So Reddit announced its crackdown on its automated traffic data scraping, specifically targeting like old Reddit, like a massive influx of abusive traffic, bots, stealthing, everything. People can go do whatever they want, and they can, rank you for a keyword, and then say, "Look, we're ranking for a keyword," which I'll actually show you really quickly, kind of what that part is meaning to most people. At least to me, I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, do whatever." Like people that are making millions of dollars, we never touch it. So
100. Just a few weeks ago, I shared this. Pedro Diaz. Okay, guys, just informing everyone I'm the world's most renowned AI visibility expert.
and this is a whole social media spiel from your social media influencers who influence the SEO market and say all this stuff. And they're like, wow, look, you can go do this thing and it does this thing. And yeah, you can absolutely go do something as a joke and it could get engagement. And then the AI is like, oh, hey, look, there's this thing over here. But what no one tells you about that, it's like, whoa, this whole strategy, right? SEO content. You go back to any normal platform and you go to a keyword explorer and you go plug that in and you look and see, oh, yeah, nobody's even, huh? Yeah, that's not really a keyword. And if I put renowned, RENOWNED, 20. Oh, there's a bunch of people from India searching for it and some of the United States of America. World's most this. So this even showed up because of a social media video where people search it. So the intent behind it is not going to be an intent that's going to make you money. But somehow in the social media world, people could convince you that by doing these AI things that are long tail keywords, absolutely, look at me rank for this thing that no one's even searching for. So let's dive back into where we left off. And take away from that, there's a lot of misdirection on the internet. Well, as I said before, most people are going to spend between $20 to $30,000. Some people are going to spend that up front to get things done correctly, and some people are going to spend that over 2 to 3 years to just work with a bunch of agencies that charge a low amount of money, which we're going to be going over some agencies that seem like they do charge a low amount of money, and results are subjective. So now, when you land on a website page like this, do you see it? Do you see the thing that stands out that does not add up at all? Just looks like websites and results, right? Well, unfortunately, DR. So, what is DR becomes the question. What is DR for SEO? And this is going to be, before I even click enter, 1 out of 100 ranking systems, 0 to 100 ranking systems on a tool. Okay. Now, can you explain to me why on a marketing agency's website it says DR 218? Probably a mistype. And then DR 140, DR 122. Kind of weird, right? It's a metric. It's 1 to 100. So maybe they kind of fluff that up over there. Not sure, because that DR 63, 72 normal. Ah, if you have a consultant that's trying to find an agency for you or do some research on the agency you may be working with, we're going to be like, hey, what's going on over here? That's not correct. So we're just going to grab one of these sites right here, take a peek at it, and do you already see it? Do you see? It looks almost exactly the same as this website. Not to say that they're both AI generated, but it's kind of looking a little bit close to one of those AI generated websites. It's got the services, it's got the service area, it's got a ton of those service areas. We go click on one of the service areas, we go scroll to the very bottom. That's off center. So, oh, there's a button there. Wow. Took 2 seconds to find that. You see these things. You just look at it and I'm like, I don't see the internal link in the sentences up there. I don't see the footer optimized over here. I don't see the Facebook pixel on this page. I don't see what looks to be H tag structure, like plan Myers, corner, out, work, how to prepare for crews and equipment, planning, clean access and durable results, landscaping. Sure. But what I'm looking at here is a footer. Hopefully they don't have an address. I see that there's nothing here. That maps link I told you about doesn't exist. And remember, I told you, you guys can just go here and you can quote search this and you can find all the websites that somebody created, right? Designed by themselves. And then boom, you go here and here's another landscaping company that was created. The home button's smaller than the service button. Don't worry about that. Sizes are a little bit off. Start your project over here. Most of the websites you're going to come across nowadays, they all follow the same type of just kind of AI generated look. And that's not to say that people aren't making money. Once again, inquire, do your own research. But this business has been ranking with branded traffic in the same place for the past year. For the past 2 years, the business from a website perspective has just been in the exact same area. Absolutely nothing has changed from the website perspective. And maybe their business has grown, but from what I'm looking at from landscaping companies, it just doesn't seem like it. And that's once again a report. Remember the up to the right, you would probably want to see that. So let's dive in just a little bit more on this one right here. Okay, it looks like one of their service area pages is broken. And if it's templated, that means all of the pages are broken. That means, every single page is going to be broken. Every single page on this website that is attached to their service area or contains that block at all is going to be broken. So it looks like these ones don't contain that block and the other ones do. Now, what I always do, because I'm paying for a website, it's a contract that says certain things. Every site hand coded, every metric verified.
right? And these are not mock-ups. Click any site down below. So every site was hand-coded, which by maybe hand-coded maybe, but also there was an assistance of AI, 99% chance in these. You know, you can disclose that in your contract. Make sure they disclose AI in the contracts, or you can go to the FTC because there's a lot of stuff coming out with that. Anyways, every site hand-coded, every metric verified. So in my brain, did they verify these location pages and do this on purpose? Because if it's handmade and it's verified, well, based on that publicly available data, it seems like they may have just left that number invisible on purpose. I don't know. That's a conversation between the people that are doing this. So now remember, when we look at any site, run it through just a similar process. Remember, this is the basics. Just run it through this. We can see that there's probably all those pages indexing. Everything's not looking too bad over there. We can go grab this website here. We can scroll over here. We can plug this in. We can see what's going on. Right. And in this one, ooh, yeah. Yeah, 30s, 28s. That's not looking, unless this is brand new, it's doing that thing that I've shown you where it goes up, it goes down, and it's going up, but in positions 21 to 50. So the content is there, but in a month's time, you know, from a June 5th to August 5th, June, July, that's almost 2 months, 60 days we've moved in words in position 21 plus. Now, once again, you know, it's up to the business owner to determine whether or not they're actually getting what they're paying for. Looks like a little bit of paid traffic was thrown on right here, but this is abnormal to me. We call this the little Tetris block right there. It's like blip, 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 just moving around. It's not that good. So, from my personal opinion, looking at this, there may be clients that may be getting results. This person could be a person that something may have been dropped along the way. I don't know. I can't really tell you. I'm not here to make that speculation. But whenever individuals come to us, or you know, you go to another agency, anybody in general, they're going to look at all of this. We're going to say, okay, like, where'd you come from? 9 times out of 10, they're going to request an offboarding call with the agency to kind of find out what was going on. Like, what did you guys do? What's up with this stuff over here? I'm big on pushing people to go after refunds. I like to read through contracts. I like to look and see, like, this design was broken for how long? When did we publish this service area page right here? And then we'll dive into the sitemap. Then we'll scroll down. We'll look at some of the service area pages that may have been created, which these service area pages, looks like 715 there was an update on here, so I couldn't tell you. Probably some sort of update going on in the background, maybe dynamic. So I don't think they were all created on that date, but I'm also not sure. So let's recap what we learned. This platform is pretty decent at telling us if things are going good or not so good. And as I showed you, it might be going in a direction that doesn't look good, but the business could still be performing greatly. Once again, these are just third-party platforms for you to be able to just kind of feel a little bit better. And as always, your bank account. That's the only thing to pay attention to. Is my bank account number going up or is it going down? And if it's going down, whoever you're paying, just it's unfortunate, but you need to find somebody else. Because in the world of marketing, it takes 3 to 5 days to make money from Facebook ads. Let me go ahead and show you. I'm just sharing the screen cap so I can obviously keep the individual's information private, but they were 6 a.m. my time. I don't know what time they were awake, but started running Facebook ads 2 days ago, which on the website, if you're on the website, we teach you how to run Facebook ads for free. Started running his Facebook ads, tested his audiences, and right here, he got an outstanding lead. It was a pressure washing lead, which is great. Those businesses are awesome. Running Facebook ads for pressure washing companies is good. They called me this morning to talk. They're about 300K annual. They've grown and they want to continue to grow, which is great. And yeah, he's talking to them about building a website, location pages, doing SEO, which business owners know that they can make money from it. It's why they keep trying to find the right person. And as a part of that checkpoint, let's kind of recap a little bit, go over some, okay, how would we go about fixing this company? You'd have to go grab any one of the bazillion platforms out there that are going to pull all the citations for you. A lot of individuals are going to gear themselves probably towards Bright Local, something along the lines of that. That's usually going to grab a bunch of the business's data to find out what is correct, what is incorrect. Because when you get into a business like this, sometimes people do the LLCs, and let's just go here and search this up. So we have that one pros there, and then they have the word TN after that. They don't have the word TN after this one right here. This is, sending me to some website over here. That one's going to that one. Pressure washing in these companies. Maybe they claim their Yelp profile. Maybe they didn't claim their Yelp profile. You would want to do a dive and find out exactly what's going on with the business. And it looks like Wash Greenville near me pressure washing pages. So even these guys, right? This one's ranking on page 2, so this page could use some improvement right here. It might have been just the map that they linked to. Somerville right here. Some people believe in putting these maps on there, and well, you're on page 2 because of that map. But this right here, right? What can we fix? Well, we should probably consider indexing the website to our Google Search Console and then checking all the manual indexations for every page that we create, because that's just what you do. Probably consider targeting one location instead of 2 locations here. Immediately delete the Greenville that's competing against us. Ask the business owner and be real serious here. Like, this is the difference between hiring a kid that's going to build your websites, not saying a kid built this website or anything. But the difference here is, yeah, I mean, we can write that word on your website, post-construction cleaning, but in the reality of it, post-construction cleaning Florida, we search up post-construction cleaning, and those are house cleaning company keywords. So post-construction cleaning Florida, let's do MIAMI, post-construction cleaning in Miami, janitors, 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 and we are a pressure washing company. So for me, I would probably advise against adding those main service area keywords into my website. And I found a really interesting one to give you an example of. And I'm so glad that I actually come back to this website, because this is going to show you that people just are AI generating websites and throwing them together. So I want you to take a good look at this website right here. It's got like a little blue thing over there, a guy on the roof doing that. It's got some list of services here. We know these streets, and then links to service areas for some reason. The honest version, not really sure what that means. It's got content, right? Now, look, I posted this video literally yesterday and just kind of said, "Hey man, like, I don't know why you're hating on my content. I'm just here to try to educate people," and was just crashing out. And then I was just curious, what does this person do? And then I found a page, and they deleted a business and re-put another business in the place, just some sketchy stuff. Once again, you guys are welcome to watch this. But you see how that's the website, right? 25205 598816. And I did just publish this yesterday. I don't know how to tell you guys the date on here. I am not sure that, but there's the 258816 number there. There's the 258816 number right here. So this is literally the exact same thing, like quality work done by people who care. And then if you look at this, it's going to say quality work, and it's done by people who care. And this is the exact same website, right? Do-gooder solutions there, and do-gooder solutions right here. And I completely disagreed with the build, and yeah, explained, hey, look, your stuff's not indexing. You have the same problems that everybody else is going through. And just a sidebar, right? Someone over here said CDK doors. I have no idea where they are at, but I'm gonna type the word owner to find out if that's the owner of the business. But CDK doors looks like a supplier in Mesa, California. Is that correct? And their name's Cameron, and the business owner's name is Gene. So unless they give me an actual location, I'm going to assume that while I'm live, that's a random person wandering around trying to find out whether or not the work they did was done correctly by going to other people in the marketing world and trying to determine whether or not they did their website right or wrong. So can you please verify where it's located? Someone says, yes, sir, it's their DBA. So this guy's name is Cameron in my live, and now Cameron is supposed to become Gene over here. And maybe this does check out. Maybe this photo does match that photo, but unfortunately, since their name is Cameron on their TikTok and the business owner's name is this, and this is once again, I'm not going to go in that depth of an audit. I'm just simply going to say the following. You built an AI generated website, period. And the reason I don't even look at these anymore is because, yeah, everybody's just getting an AI generated website. And remember, when you run out of these searches, refresh, always run it through the same process. And yep, AI generated website that is producing content and positions 59, 48, 25, 42, 11 for possibly some distribution company. So a lot of people are just throwing together websites. They just build them. Like this was a random person that just wandered into where I'm at right now. Couldn't really tell if it was a business owner, but this is the quality of content, right? You can already see the menu is not even set up correctly over here, and run it through the same process. So this is a perfect review point, right? Skip the other website. Perfect review point. All right, there's pages. You can see some pages over here that night covers. Am I covering myself with a blanket? Not really sure what's going on over there. There's a lot of content on here. Like this is mismatched against that, which I'm not here to tell everybody, hey, all websites are wrong. I know everything. No, no, no. These are just very common things you're going to come across in the industry. Like these types of websites, once you really realize, okay, like this door right here, it's going up against that business right there, world manufacturing companies. Like this is, I hope this just kind of shows why I might reply this way. So if we go to this platform, I just want to show you some stuff where sometimes people may tell you if you're going down the route of national that it could take a long time, it could take a short time. It would take competing against a strategy so far that is being implemented in a way that seems to be working versus current implementation of a strategy, which let me go ahead here and back this out. Actually, hit that back right there. I think I pulled up the same website twice right here. Yep, totally pulled up the same website twice right there. So where it looks like one strategy is working and then you look at the other and it's like, oh, blue with 0. And that's the reality. That's the last 5 years. So let's do over the last year. So you can see that this website is, yeah, it looks like it's been there since the beginning of the year and did nothing. Maybe they're running a ton of Google ads, maybe they're running some other sort of strategy. But if you look over the last, year here, you can see, oh, it's moving. It's moving in a place that we would, as the outsider that is observing, assume that they're probably generating more revenue. But then that would take into tail, you'd have to go here, look at some of the keywords, see if they're easy density. Like this one's a super simple keyword. They are transactional though. So the fact that these are ranking for transactionals, you have information, you have commercial, you have transactional, you have navigational, and your T's and local. Like a T that is local is money. So if like you see a T, like an IT here or a CT and it's local, money. Those are people that they're called money keywords. And funny enough, they other people call money keywords ranking from position. You moved from position 23 to 14 for this obscure word that no one is going to convert off of. I think it was like what is linear or something else. There's a word like fawning. I couldn't even tell you. I said what that was. What's going on over there? Some individuals may seem as though it's rude, but when I see people that are going down the road of AI generating websites, I just wish them the best. I say, I hope you have a great day, especially if it's a brand that you would eventually start pumping a ton of advertisements into. It's great to not only rank in the ad spot that sometimes people just scroll past, you rank in the organic spot too. But these, for me, these are the AI generated websites. It's not bad. It's got words on it. You can go look at the plugin. You can see that they just slammed a ton of words in there. It just says that for the title tag, which if someone directly searches for this, right, you got to ask yourself, just, go do some research. Anybody can just, do people even search for that? It looks like no, not really. Doesn't even seem like it's a term that is supposed to be making me money. So if people are selling those, they're probably selling them some other sort of way. And then if I search these based on where I'm VPN to, I immediately come across another company using AI. And you start seeing how this entire industry is becoming, oh, you know what? I'm going to build a business and I'm going to build this website and I'm going to put stuff on it and we're going to slam internal links into here. And this one actually might even rank. They put the map there for that, technically in the wrong place. The map goes to the business, not the building. Goes to the business. Look there. So you can start to see like there's bits and pieces of strategies in the world floating around. Like they have their cookies on there. Footer could have been done a little bit differently. Here's how you spy on Facebook ads. Like when I told you you're going to get a ton of information, you're going to get a ton of information. They're not currently running Facebook ads and they started in 2022. They're a restaurant supply chain. They may have people who are doing B2B transactions out there. But when you have AI generated images nowadays, it does the opposite of, I think, build rapport with people. Like when I see this, I just assume it's a fake company. And that's a very real thing. So even when people go down the road of AI generating websites, AI generated content, AI generated everything, like, sorry, I'm 36 years old, and if I see you using some AI stuff like this, I'm not trusting your company. That's just me personally. So, and we could also, let's go grab the website. From an outsider's perspective, I'd have to spend a little bit more time looking into this one, but let's just go here and go to the dashboard and see what it looks like and take a peek. Right? We can always take that peek into the website and see, okay, looks like traffic is down here and hasn't moved. So there's always going to be something. And once again, as I've always said, that something that is the indicator of a successful strategy is your bank account. There's no magical report or magical anything. It is your bank account. Like, let's say you're a custom home builder, and I'm going to take a moment to pause here. Okay, remember there's going to be information iterated above and below to kind of contextualize this because it's going to be a very long video. I'm not even a fraction done. If you're a custom home builder and you don't have a website and you really haven't generated leads through your website, and someone builds your website and you go from 0 leads to now making on average about 5, 6 leads per month, yeah, that's good. Your bank account is growing. You are getting leads you have never had before. So how you manage those leads and how you close those leads is completely up to you. And just speaking from personal perspective, yes, person has multiple companies. They wanted to get into custom home building. I would personally go and as I have said in earlier in this video, you need to make sure, right? I think I said it in this one, but there's a trick that you can play if you're a business owner where you ask an agency, you say, well, have you done any websites like this before? And if they say, yeah, I have, okay, once again, obviously context is applied. Is it SEO? Is it not SEO? And they say, yeah, I have done a website like this before. The next question you ask is, well, can you show me someone in the kind of the local market that you did one for so I can see kind of what it's going to look like? And if they have done a website for somebody in the same town in the same niche as you, yeah, don't waste your time. Because if their content is written in a way that's going to rank, well, they've just made whoever they built that website for not matter. And now you two are going to have to compete against each other. And it may sound crazily egotistical, but I'm not trying to have a competition with myself because I don't know what's going to happen. Someone's going to get somewhere, but one of you guys are going to suffer. And my moral conscience doesn't really support that at all. So that's a little trick you can play is find out if they're working with somebody that's in the exact same niche as you, because I cannot tell you how many businesses out there, not going to mention any names, but they charge a F ton of money and they're working with you and they're working with your competitor and they're working with their competitor's competitor that's also your competitor and they're working with their competitor that's also your competitor that's the other guy's competitor, and someone's going to suffer somewhere. And that is a very big reality. So if you're a custom home builder who never had a website and got leads, awesome. General contractors sometimes spending $500 a month and getting some results here and there, versus actually spending 2,500 plus a month, actually making more money in Q1 than they did all last year, because what was that, September, so August, September timeframe, enough time to ramp up into January where everything was sitting where it needs to sit. And the leads that those companies get, just so you understand from marketers' perspectives, yeah, you might charge 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. When someone gets 6 bathroom remodels in 2 days for houses that have, I couldn't even tell you how many floors were in that one. I think 2 or 3 in one of them, which was insane. I said, what, three floors? What's that? It was like a mezzanine roof area, but expensive porcelain bathroom remodels. Yeah, your retainer is thumbs up. And that's what's same with custom home building. So when you're in this industry, right, for the marketing side of things, pick a niche. One lead for a custom home builder is much different, which, by the way, people price shop. So one lead for the custom home builder doesn't mean one client. Bank account up to the right is different than one lead for a coffee shop or one lead for a restaurant, or one person eating or one person getting a vanity replace. There's different types, and we go over this inside of, obviously I have a sales course. It's a video-based reciprocity sales system that teaches you how to turn Google Maps into Google Maps if you caught that. But we go over the industries and walk you through them. Like a bakery doesn't care about selling a cookie. Wholesale is great for them. Weddings are great for them. Catering is great for them. They would love to do the wedding cake and cater the wedding. Like, get in contact with a lawyer as a bakery. Lawyer has 300 clients. Lawyer purchase a cake every year to send to his clients. Those are all real realities. So sometimes people look at a website and they say, "Oh, this website's horrible. This is the worst thing I ever seen," and then totally forget, "Oh, that pressure washer actually has a contract with this apartment complex, that apartment complex, and these guys are over here, so they really just didn't need a website." So once again, everything you learn about websites, all of this information that you look at to try to say, "Oh, these guys are horrible. They're not doing great." Yeah, they could have a contract with builders, and builders build stuff, and builders need supplies to build stuff. So it's like the flooring contractor that has a website that looks kind of meh, but every contractor in that place goes to them to get their flooring. So you just got to understand how, take away from this piece, you got to understand how businesses actually function. And one of the best ways to learn how businesses function is, well, if you're younger, I don't know, hit up a business that looks relatively successful and find out if you can take the owner out for a coffee or food. Let them know, "Hey, I have a marketing agency and I'm trying to understand my place in this whole value proposition of what businesses even need, what have they struggled with. I would love to take you out to lunch or coffee, just to kind of ask you what your experiences have been, where you think there's a need in the market right now," because they know what they need. So that's like super simple. Like, we advise everybody with an agency that starts to buy the course if you're interested, because I'm not giving you that process for free. But just kidding. No gatekeeping. If you're a new agency, go to a really famous place in your town that everybody knows, usually a restaurant, and offer to do their website for free, because nobody's going to sell them. They don't need you. They say, "Oh, you want to charge me for a website? Pfft, we've been here for 35 years, honey. Have a great day." And then they hang up on you, or, "Oh, no, thank you. Like, bless your heart. We don't need it." Yeah, go do it for free. And then congratulations, you now have a website that you can refer to somebody. And then they say, "Oh, hey, I know that place. I had dinner there with my wife last week." And you say, "Awesome. Well, I'm glad you love the website, or you're welcome to check the website out. We did that." Or you can be like a lot of other individuals that never put a face to the website at all. They, I believe, share a free demo of somethingmarketing.com over here, which I don't know if this is their website. Doesn't even load. So even if I go and look it up, it's already crumbled in my face. I'm going to go look at that because I see that demo right there, and I'm trying to find out what's going on with this demo. And it looks like I can't hear the demo. Oh, it's just scrolling through. That just looks like a base template. And that's literally a WordPress based template. And a lot of people might not understand that. And even when you go deeper into this, right, there's another segue when you look at this, because I saw this website before, I never actually scrolled, right? Who's there? Just a wall. Oh my gosh, where does it end? Oh, there it ends. Holy crap. Yeah, you look at this and you think a wall of text. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be excited. A wall of text for nothing. A wall of text for a wall of 44, 42, 37, 7, 24, and 143 words deep of 50. And this is, once again, no offense towards any agency in this. I cannot say that they do provide good services or bad services. I'm only just, this is my reaction to the industry, because it's wild to me, where you're scrolling across this stuff. As I showed you before, somebody over here said something, I don't even understand what that is. But as I said before, you gotta start looking nowadays, because this is the longest homepage I've actually ever seen. I'd say 6,000 words, 5,000 words, 1,000 off. But there's a ton on here, and there's the error. Why would you? This is where the breakdown begins, and then I'm going to jump over to the next point, reiterate a few things to understand. There's two H1 tags on here. Grow your business, get more customers. This is a marketing agency in a city and state. The most important thing you can do is write marketing agency in city and state, SEO agency in city and state, business web design in city and state, like company in city and state, like just absolutely anything that identifies to Google what your website is. And then it's reiterated here at the bottom again with the name of the company. So your H1 is never the name of your company unless maybe you're a national brand of some sort. Like you can look at companies like this, GYM, and you can search this up and you could say, yeah, national e-commerce brand, might not really care about H tag structure, doesn't care about H tag structure, but still has an H1 for workout and gym clothes, which does mean that they care about this structure because remember, there's layers to this game. Why does Gymshark, a large brand, write this here? And then why does this one, which is a very similar type of brand, write nothing? So where someone could have gained additional value, they failed to be aware of that value. And when someone fails to be aware of the value, once again, it's do you know the right people or not? So we search up that website, which has its own social media. I mean, there's tons of reasons it could impact a business. We're just looking at raw numbers here. So you can see when we search up that one, let's go here and search up this one, right? One of them, okay, we'll just start from the beginning all time, right? Kind of floated here for a while until maybe this time frame when they changed some of their strategy, 2024, maybe it blew up online, couldn't tell you, but they are sufficiently growing, even though you can see kind of there's a large, drop going on right here. Couldn't tell you what's causing that right there. Remember, revenue up, revenue down. But when you compare two of these together, you see how they're in just kind of very different places. So this one did do a spike here, but since 2022, it kind of just never really recovered in that area. Large amount of referring going up, coming down. There's a lot of things that you would look at outside of this to make a better recommendation. But just some small things can go a very long way. Like if we search for this, right, workout, if people are searching workout clothes, right, workout clothes, Google ad, places, this place, Lululemon and Gymshark. And that's boom, people looking for workout clothes because it mentions workout clothes here. And then even though these all register as red, Google doesn't really care as long as it's on there somewhere. It's mentioned right here. There's tons of other things to layer into that. So let's continue. We've covered over SEM, we've covered some H tags, we've covered a little bit of conversations where you could trust this information, but you shouldn't always trust this information. Is it a kind of clear telltale sign of a business growing? Yes, sometimes no. For instance, this is a custom home builder right here. And you can see, June, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leads that came in. In July, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 leads that came in. And it is August 8th. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leads that have come in. So once again, certain months are going to be bigger than others, certain strategies. When the market does change and someone is looking, you're going to be found. And I'm just showing you this to show you that there are leads and it is consistently growing. But when you look at the report, it doesn't really look that impressive. Yes, you can see the traffic spike here. So there was a jump, which is good. But when you look at the search terms over here, people could tell you, well, you don't rank for anything. Well, I just showed you a platform where we're getting leads. And the traffic rate there does kind of correlate over to that, but that's not always what you look at. And the reason I'm showing you this is because once again, look, here's stuff that's 25 under. Yeah, it's data. It's something to pay attention to, but it's not something to just say, oh, well, this is absolutely horrible because it's sitting here. There's no objective other than making more money when you're using the internet. And funny enough, there's actually people out there that do SEO and their objective is not based around making money. Sounds crazy, right? And I just want to show you these because if you were to gauge, is the company making more money off of this? I mean, they got more leads in the first 8 day of this month than they got in most months. So this month for them is going to be a gigantic gas pedal for leads. And that is because the niche that they're in. So custom home builders, sometimes there's new places that are building new homes and there's new people looking that want a home, and then they go look at the custom home builders in the area that build because the people that are promoting the heck out of the new spot Well, those guys, they're not the one that's going to build your home. You can go to them, and they're going to be contracting the work out to the custom home builders, because certain custom home builders are used in certain areas. Not everybody gets the deal. Like, for instance, when someone is a part of a real estate development, there's, I think, like 8, 9, 10 people a part of one. At least that. I think it was like between 8 and 10. There's tons of things that had to come together at the exact same time. There was already a custom home building company that was going to be the one taking the project on and hiring out for everything, doing everything, all of the homes, all of that. They already had everything done, because when they're building the development, from what I've learned about that, you have to have all that stuff together at the exact same time. And funny enough, even in a project like that, the person that was supposed to be, we did the website for that. The person that was supposed to be giving us content and all of this other stuff actually tried throwing us under the bus, and we had no idea the entire time, because we said, well, we don't have content to do what we need to do. We can't move forward. You need to provide the content. And those are real conversations. Sometimes it is genuinely just bad client, which is like, oh, we built your entire website and you're generating leads, and now you gave us a Claude generation and want us to redo your entire website. Well, your clock's about to start back over, because we're here to make you money, and this thing is probably not going to work very well. But I had no idea that they knew that that lady was actually lying and not doing her job. And in the process of us being frustrated, I was sitting in a call with one of the people that were a part of the development or investors. And yeah, he was like telling me not to talk, and I didn't know what was going on. And he never told me that they were trying to find out that that lady was actually lying about the work that she was doing. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that you come across in this industry. And yeah, I was about to start speaking up and saying stuff, and he was just like, don't talk. Like, there's levels to this game, and if you're a marketer watching this, though, there's levels to this game. There's, hey, we're going in this building, don't talk to this guy, he owns the company, he doesn't give a crap about stuff unless it's worth like money. So don't be talking to him about a website or any of that stuff. Just come along for the walk, enjoy. Don't do anything. Like, trust me, you will be, he will hate you. So there's levels to a game, and you got to learn to play them. So let's move on now. So we have SEM, we have the detailed, we have the site, we understand that little base structure, taking the map, putting it over, learning about citations, names, links. And once again, if you're in this industry, you have to paint all that stuff together. And some people will tell you it's easy. That's awesome. I'm happy that there's people out there that have figured out a strategy and it's making their client money. That's all that really matters. Once again, as I've said and will say many times, the only indicator of a successful strategy that is being deployed for a business, not marketing agencies, because a ton of them charge money and build doo-doo crap websites and put people in contracts and get them stuck in contracts. And well, that's just it's an unfortunate part of the game over here. Sign a $3,000 a month contract, lose money. Oh, well, we did our job. So if the business, which is not the one providing the service, we're not talking marketing agencies or anybody selling a service of making a company money. If the company that's receiving the service is making more money because of the service, that is the only indicator that you follow. All right, we're going to transition and segue into, well, how do we hire an agency? How do we know who we should hire? Because, and I'm doing this specifically because of this email right here I'm about to show you, which is unfortunately almost a daily occurrence. It's extremely rare to find people that know what they're doing in this industry. Now, I've been seeing your reels lately, and you have made a few that actually targeted the SEO company that they hired to work with. And I said, oh, wow, that's okay. That's interesting, because I'm only really trying to be honest when I make videos. Oh, yeah, you can go rank your Google profile higher, but have they even ranked their Google profile higher? Oh, yeah, you can go do this thing on your website over here with LinkedIn. You can go do this thing over here with buying a random domain and doing all this random stuff, but none of it is sustainable long term. And SEO is like sustainable long term practices. I want my business to continue to make money as time goes on. And if we read through this, they said, I hired to take care of my business has negatively impacted my rankings, which I had a conversation today just to kind of share more into the industry, just to, hey, I'm not just a person that puts together a website and says, I've been in the industry forever building those. No. I had a conversation with a lady who's working at a company who's unhappy working at that company because they keep trying to scale verticals for businesses and can't do it. And she feels terrible getting on the call with a business owner that she had a great connection with, a great conversation with, And then the business owner's like, we're down 10%. Things aren't going very well. That has to be one of the shittiest experiences of any person that does customer service or sales. Like, I'm so sorry that this is not going well to you. Like, I'm sorry I sold you this. I don't ever want someone to have to be put in that position, but people get put in that position all the time. So she asks, how do you assess SEO companies to ensure high price of their service actually have an ROI? And that's why throughout this entire video, you heard me mention the only thing you look at is your bank account. If you're paying money, you should be making money. It's like investing in Facebook ads and your ROI is not there. You would probably stop investing in that Facebook ad unless it was some sort of reoccurring service. Meaning, if I am selling an item for $10 and it costs me $5 to make it, and then I run my ad, well, do the math. If I run my ads and it costs me $10 to get a purchase, well, it costs me $5 to make it, and then I'm gonna make $10. You got to be able to do the math. And there's tons of people that say, "Oh, look at this report and look at that report and look at these numbers, blah 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 blah." Money, period. And that's a conversation that just hasn't existed in this industry for a long time. People have been actively charging. Probably, if you do the math, I can do the math here really quickly. What's the average cost in a year to host my domain and my website if I'm just trying to have a website in a general domain? I don't know the general numbers. So 106, so 60 to 160 per year is the average amount of money. And people will charge you $60 to $160 a month. And yeah, obviously, the agency is going to be there just in case nothing ever goes wrong because your website usually doesn't have things that go wrong. So they're charging 11 times the amount of money that you would normally spend if you just, said, thanks, we'll take care of it ourselves. But this industry has sold people on not being able to do it themselves. And now the industry is selling you on doing it yourself. It's getting really interesting. So, how do you assess SEO companies to ensure high prices of their service are actually worth the ROI? And then, what advice do you have to correct the impacts? So, we'll talk about this first one here. So, now we're going to review marketing agencies to help you understand what should I look at before I hire one. And before we continue, I want to once again reiterate this is my personal opinion based on publicly available data at the time of this recording and for educational purposes. Now, you can look at Google reviews, and this is a very large Google review profile right here. And what I always do is I go to newest. I'm going to go to the newest reviews because I want to know the most recent experiences that individuals are having with this company right now. And then the first thing I see immediately stands out to me. I see a 5-star review that has no context to it. I see another 5-star review that has patient, informative, Tiffany, that no context associated with my business is in a better position because of this. Now, I do see a 1-star review right here that talks about hiring and managing them for 6 months, spending money, thought they were leveling things up. Their visibility and leads have dropped badly. Now, based on my personal experiences, I could agree with this. I have seen many of these over my career, these exact type of reviews right here. And as always, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But to me, it's interesting to see that there's a 5-star, but no context at all to it. And then there's a very large 1-star review that was uploaded. And then the next one is a 5-star review that talks about patient, and it's not really, I'm looking for where, who made money, because I believe that anybody that is investing, okay, like there's website design, should be like a one and done, kind of manage it yourself. But this industry is broken, so it's a one-time website build, sometimes pay a bunch of money. I'm not saying that this is this company's strategy. I'm just speaking at the industry in a whole. A lot of people, as I said earlier, overcharge for a domain website. It's like $100 to $300 a month when you should be paying maybe $160 a year. So right here, just signed up, felt comfortable in the person talking on the phone. Uh, they said good so far. So far I'm looking at reviews and I see that the positive don't really have any context towards anything related to money, leads going up, any positive benefit. And I'm seeing that the bad reviews have very clear negative benefits. So 1 star, this looks like another person a day ago. So we have, and if a person's interpreting this, right, I think anybody can come to the same conclusion as me here. It looks like 5 star, no context, 1 star, massive amount of context, 5 star talking about professional, patient, and informative, which is good. They signed up and didn't really report their experiences. Like a 5 star review for I just signed up with them. Like I don't. So this Google profile feed has always been very interesting to me, where I just signed up with them and feel really comfortable with the person I talked to. I mean, if that's a Google review, that's a Google review. And then a day ago, 1 star again, they're talking about, and this one, let me read it really quickly, signing up 4 months, billing, that did 0. So it looks like this individual had issues with billings and a refund problem. And then as we continue, you need to do this. I trust me, once again, if you're going to be investing money to grow your business or investing money with the expectation to grow your business, sometimes these are the most important decisions you're ever going to make. And, got a call back right away. So that's just a review about a callback. This one's thanking somebody for being patient and professional. 5 star, 5 star, very impressed with communication. They talk to them on the phone. Rob's a nice guy. I don't see any 5 star Google reviews, and every time I see a 1 star review, that's when it's talking about money. So don't believe everything here. $450 a month, complete waste of time, calls, everything there. So my personal takeaway from just briefly looking at this, it's confusing to me that there's a local agency that doesn't even have a local keyword, and then they have a Google profile in a local city, which normally you would do your local SEO if you have that, because you'll be able to get more leads through that. And then I also don't see anything. This is like kind of optimized, but growth starts with this. And you can actually even, there's a little quotation here. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Now, when you see updates like this, hashtags are not really, there's no point in putting hashtags, and you can see those hashtags down there. So that to me is a red flag that whoever's doing these updates, I would highly advise against letting them do updates like that for you. Do hashtags do absolutely anything on a Google profile update? The answer is no, but I always like to go to a third-party reference, like an AI platform, just so in time, if you watch my content, you can develop trust with me. I personally think the AI platforms are drooling toddlers. It's like MS Paint 2.0. And there's a question that comes in that says, "What time is it right now?" I have no idea. I'd have to look. It's like 9 or 10 p.m. So right here, you can see Google Profiles posts specifically. Hashtags have essentially no meaning or ranking benefit. Google's own documentation on local ranking says the main factors are relevancy, distance, prominence. So if you posted this, you probably could just write something else. So even the AI will tell you that writing that is just doesn't really need anything. So when we see that these posts are consistently written with hashtags, well, you want relevancy here. So is it better to have more reviews or more recent reviews? The answer might surprise you. While high review count builds credibility, consistent earn and fresh reviews have a bigger impact on customer trust and local search visibility. Well, I could agree, but I also disagree based on the fact that those local reviews right here that are recent would push me to not choose hiring this company. And now sometimes there's going to be multiple platforms that are going to have reviews, and a lot of people don't look. Companies will consistently grow regardless if they have bad reviews. Some people just genuinely don't look, and you should add looking as a part of your research process. If there's no video that really explains what's going on, right? Like I didn't have to worry about my web presence with them in 5 reviews. I don't know if that's those reviews there. But once again, if we go here and we look at the reviews, okay, and we filter, sort by newest first. And once again, we sort by newest first. And immediately, okay, this looks like that's that same review that was left on the Google profile that was also left here. And then there's another one right here. And then this one is an experience that also has a Google Search Console attached, which when people are pulling out Google Search Consoles, that's when you should start really paying attention. And it looks like this one here. So I don't know which one that one is, but I have ran into this one before. I can only say my personal opinion is I would not personally hire them. This one right here, I have no idea what that one is. And this is the town square. So it looks like this is dropping down over here. I'm not exactly sure what this is, if the website was published, unpublished. I can't really tell you anything conclusive from looking at that other than kind of just looks like they stayed relatively in the same place. And then it does seem since bringing them on, this is the impressions, just so you can read this chart with me. This is impressions where they just dropped. So maybe the website was published here, somewhere around this time, but the website has dropped. And when impressions drop, everything else will usually follow along with that. And then average CTR technically went up with these guys over here, was decent over here. So yeah, probably 2025 should have stayed where they are, which goes back to that original statement where most people in this industry have worked with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different agencies. And here we are with a website that didn't index, title tags that were wrong, working on their own SEO. I worked on my own SEO for hours trying to fix this stuff. They charge extra to run banner ads, which is just Facebook ads. A lot of agencies, like me personally, I'm just going to give you a free training on Facebook ads. It's on my website. You're welcome to do it for free. And when you read through these, right, all the newest reviews, nobody here's going for the positive stuff. That's one page full of just these are all just bad, and these are all the newest reviews. I'm not sorting them by anything other than filter by rating. It's just I'm not filtering by like all ratings. I'm not filtering them at all. And every single one of these is all actually just seemingly bad experiences, like 2-star. So what I can say here is it looks like they're doing a $400 to $600 price point, right? This person owned a website, needed that, super quick to respond and everything there. So all of the positive ones don't ever really talk about money. It just says handled this and didn't really say like, hey, my company made money. Like that's the review that I really think people should find and look for. But from just kind of publicly available data over here, it does look like it is a high risk. And for me, whenever I look at something and I see that people are paying around, I think it was about $400 a month, looks like. So if we go to newest, not most relevant, if we go to newest, it looks like they're charging right around maybe $400 a month. Now, here's my disagreements with these $400 a month price points. It's it's where people, I guess, sell SEO at, and I never understood this because how much does it cost to get registered in the Charlotte, North Carolina Chamber of Commerce? Now, when someone's creating a business, a Chamber of Commerce is a very valuable local link. And you can see that just for a general startup, that costs $350. Now, if I'm a marketer and I'm coming to a city and I'm trying to build an agency, I'm going to get those costs. I'm going to find out how much it costs. Like, is there any news articles that I'm able to kind of pay to get posted in? Do they offer any of that? Like your first round of phone calls, and this is for individuals that may be building an agency. Your first round of phone calls is to all the local authoritative websites. Who are they? How do I get on them? Is there something we can do? Do we have to donate here? You know, this is something that the business owner would have to sign up for, or the marketing agency would have to sign the business up for. And then you can even follow up questions, right? If I'm a local service based business that offers services in the local market, should I sign up for my Chamber of Commerce? Will that have any value for my SEO? And the answer is yes. I just like to do these searches just so you can see that naturally the AI will agree with me. I'm not going to agree with the AI because the AI, honestly, if you really get into the nitty gritty and understanding how this industry functions, it'll tell you, oh, I don't know about that. It's like, okay, yeah, of course you don't. Because you don't have access. Once again, the AI does not have access to information that sits behind paywalls. ChatGPT can't go purchase a course and go learn through the course and watch all the content. So of course, ChatGPT is going to be subject to the general information that's available on the internet. And I assure you, if you're one of the individuals that have never been in a mastermind or something of that nature, yeah, really long time ago, there was advice saying, oh, just get a bunch of your friends together, go rent a really nice house, go rent a really nice car, and then record your advertisements around selling e-commerce stores for people and do all this other stuff for course related material. And yeah, some people were going as far to even get fake click funnels and fake YouTube buttons put behind them with the text to where a person really couldn't see it. And trust me, there's a ton of people on the internet that absolutely just fabricate everything. There was a guy that faked a snowmobile accident and ran that as an advertisement. He's like, I'm giving away everything. And those people pop up on the internet and then they disappear. So when you're looking at this, you got to look at this through the lens of I'm not trusting anybody until I kind of go spend like a few days looking into things. Like I have a course. If you buy it, you buy it. You don't, you don't. It's not my main income generating activity. Doing this is, so I'm not really pressed if someone gets it or doesn't. I love finding other people that are new in this industry and help them, or even business owners that have been screwed over 5, 10 times. Yeah, there's a price point that makes sense and well, it does work. So right here you can see that if I'm charging $400 a month, and this is just kind of, my conclusion on that agency, that's not even enough money for me to be able to properly set you up the way that I know I would. Like high authority, possesses high authority domain. Google trusts this website. A link from their directory passes a strong ranking link equity to your site. It's local relevancy. It's everything that you would need. And if I charge you $400, well, if it costs $350, I just made $50 and I still have to build you a website. So you see how that just doesn't add up. So takeaway from here, just based on the publicly available data, I would choose to avoid. And my last kind of check that I would look at is I'm not always going to judge an agency too hard. As you notice, I didn't even go to this agency's website because I can see that the H1 just doesn't really say anything realistic here. You could end up going on the websites. You could look deeper into reviews. Like I could go find, and just so you understand, I could and you could go to any one of these pages, which is, where did that one go? Right here. You could go to any one of these and you can go to these reviews on here and you can actually see like maybe website design or something. And you can scroll and sometimes look for a photo. It does look like there is a decent amount of, mom hired them for hosting website over here, crediting back money. So there's just a lot of reviews that, people tell you to run and blame Google for their mistake, like a lot of ranking dropping, a lot of not having, whoa, this is 0 stars, took 2 weeks for a copy paste website. So I can't really judge too much on this, but what I can say is here's a 5 star, right? The client, not worth good, his pocketbook, something advertisements. I have no clue what this is. But you can actually find for everybody else out here, you can go to these website. The pitch to SEO website sounds great. What is this? Is this an image of a website that they created? Oh yeah, this is interesting, but let's see if we can actually find this. Find cleaning services here. So cleaning services, you can sometimes right click these and search these, and you might actually be able to find this business on Google. So it looks like Cleaner Living is based out of here, and we might be able to find this actual business to take a little bit of a peek at it. And I cannot, but we actually can right here. So Mr. Tidy Bins, they're on WordPress. So we can go and look at their website and see if it looks similar, kind of where are they at after that experience they had 9 months ago. So they obviously moved over to work with a different individual. They're on WordPress. They got some moving features over here. There's not enough content on that. That website, unfortunately, is still sitting at the ground zero area of we never added an H tag. We still don't have meta descriptions. We're still putting our H2s as step 1, 2, and 3. And that right there is kind of that's part of the industry. People have tried a few times and then they just I think they just stopped. So let's continue on and let's look at something. This is kind of like the last piece of the puzzle that you could look at for a business. That's how you find other work that people may have done. So if you really want to go play kind of detective, just go dive into one of these and this one right here 9 months ago, just go search that business up. And it looks like you got these guys here. Your services ended at this time. People are just uploading stuff. So really do your research nowadays. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this business here and I'm going to introduce you to the next thing to look at. Okay. These are called geogrids. Geogrids are pretty great pieces. This business has 5,000 some reviews. So should be no reason why they don't rank really great when I type in, marketing agency, because they're technically a marketing agency, but let's be a little bit more specific here. Business management software, internet marketing service. Let's see what they write about. Just to be accurate here for services, they have, all right, so website design. We're going to grab website design because it seems like a lot of people are getting website designs done. And now, what I want you to understand about this platform is, for me, local SEO. Now, if I'm going to try to find an agency for local SEO and your own websites, which in the world of marketing, I personally believe the agencies should broadcast their own services through their own website. And I don't judge them too hard, but if you're going to do SEO, which is engine optimization, search engine optimization, and offer it to local businesses, which I can see the roofing company was a local business, that trash man company was a local business. So they're offering services to a local company and the grid is sitting in the red, I'm going to be a little bit worried about that. So, my final takeaway, just based on looking at everything that was publicly available to me, this could be incorrect based on the time that I pulled it. So, disregard that piece of information. However, I would choose to not move forward with their services. Now, when I first started posting on this platform, I just went through and I went on social media and I looked up SEO type advice and I started seeing a bunch of SEO influencers pop up, make videos, everything, just make a video, make a video, make a video. And someone made a video back to the video that I made. And this is what made me dive even deeper into, okay, people that have a following online, awesome. People believe things. It's a following, it's rapport building, it's information. And when I tell you on this part of the video, there's a place for everybody on the internet. There's a teacher for everybody, there's a coach for everybody, there's an agency for everybody. There's a person for everyone. But I want you to listen to this specific video because it really made me just kind of question the deeper nature of the information that was available to the public online.
I haven't been fully honest with you. I recently got called out for giving you SEO tips that some people are calling viral trash.
And I never called them that because I don't use those words. I just fundamentally disagreed with information because based on my career, I've learned otherwise.
And saying that I've been misleading you with my SEO strategies. So let me be fully upfront. I want to start with keywords. I've been telling you to go after keywords that are really easy to rank for and not the keywords that are going to make you money.
And right there, I said, wait, what?
Like one of my students is ranking second for, I need a voice actor for my Florida business.
And when someone said it was their student, I went and looked up the website and said the URL structure's off. And then I dove deeper and said, wait a second, this person's endorsing somebody else's course online and that person's content, which I can show you. You can just go to my website, you go to my page and just watch these. And it was confusing to me because I said, well, wait a second, you publicly endorse a person's course that publicly posts content that says that at a minimum, the H1 tag, the URL slug, and all this stuff should be correct. And one of their students' websites URL was off, and I said, "Whoa, what's going on over here? Like, what even is this?"
You put that into SEMrush, nobody's searching that.
And why would we tell anybody to go rank for a keyword that nobody's searching for?
Obviously, that's an easy keyword if nobody else is going for it. So here's what I never tell you. I've been doing SEO for over 15 years, and it's not these kinds of keywords that kill your SEO. It's that we're all impatient. We all want to see results.
And nobody's impatient. Every single person that I know that has ever paid for the service. So as I'm going through these, I'm like, wait a second, what do you mean impatient? No, that's not true at all. Sometimes you tell a company it's going to take a year and a half because you want to rank for a mortgage keyword like mortgage broker, national type stuff. Sometimes it takes a long time for businesses to make money back from SEO. That's why a lot of them get into paid advertisements and push a large budget. Where when you first start a business, immediately, right off the bat, yeah, you could build a website or you could go into your paid advertisements and build those and then slowly teeter those advertisements off as you gain more traffic through SEO, where business is spending $2,500 a month on Google Ads, spending $1,500 a month on Facebook ads, spending another $1,500 a month on a website, allocates money to an SEO build and can turn off the other platforms
Immediately. And if we go after more difficult keywords, clients will leave before they rank.
So what I took away from this video, and I'm not going to watch the whole thing, is I took away that there is a large difference in who's doing what on the internet. So if we go after easy keywords, then we're not going to make money because they said telling us to go after easy keywords are not going to make money. said, okay, but if we go after the harder keywords, our clients will leave us. So that's more of a, you're telling me that if I go after the keyword to rank a person so they're going to make money, they're going to leave me before they make money. It creates this just impossible, it's just an impasse. So I either lose you because I don't make you money, or I lose you because I took too long to make you money. That did not resonate with me at all. And I think any bit of content is fair game. And I'm actually I'm gonna show you this because it does lead into my next point.
If you're doing this yourself, you will give up before you see results.
And I said, yeah, like you're a business owner that's taken SEO seriously, you probably shouldn't do it yourself, because the amount of time and energy that has to be expressed into the strategy is just, that's why there's teams of people that do it.
So going after those easier keywords gives you a mental win a lot quicker.
And I went into business to make money, not get mental wins. So when I heard this, I said, wait a second. And then I started diving even deeper into influencers and what they're doing and just all this other stuff, and was like, whoa. Because there's a fundamental disconnect somewhere in the industry where, okay, this is one of the only industries where the business owner does not have the resources available to be able to shift through the thousands of people that are probably emailing them, texting them, calling them, trying to do all of this crazy stuff. So,
which keeps you doing SEO. But what I don't tell you is that you're doing something called the avalanche technique.
and I'm going to end the video right there for that one, and just I'm going to show you some stuff, right? So avalanche technique, right? If we go to over another platform, as we're connecting things together, we've seen this platform already. So now you're getting acclimated with this information. And avalanche techniques, right? So let's just break this stuff down for you. You can see, and you do a 5-year period. This is really just you can see this. This is traffic going up, and then it is going down. So when you watch this video,
which is building up traffic to your site from easier keywords.
Building up traffic to the site from easier keywords. And when you go and look, right, sitemap XML, so you can dive into the background of these sites, and you go to posts, you can see that a large majority of these, right, 2022, 2023, so you can see the posting strategies that were bringing the traffic, right? This is the level of research that, maybe I'm just a video game nerd and sat in front of my computer for a long time and was always trying to be the best at World of Warcraft, and every little tiny thing you knew that someone else didn't know was a more ranking in your arena to get yourself your rating 2000 PvP shoulders that everybody said, wow, those are amazing. And then when you rank to 2000, I think it was 400 or somewhere around there, you can get, I think it was 2200 or 2400, you can get your special PvP weapon enchant, which just meant, yo, that guy knows what he's doing. You probably shouldn't fight him. But you can see from 2022, okay, traffic starts taking off, and right about 2024, okay, like August timeframe, September, October timeframe, something changed right in that month period right there. And that lines up with this. You can see that the 2022, 2023, 2024 blogs, and then 2025, like same blog strategy. 2025, there was a lot. 2026, there was blogs going in. Now, when you start looking at the keywords, there's a blog strategy called SEO lies, right? SEO industry is full of misinformation, business owners taking shortcuts. Google's not a bad machine. There's like black hat tricks, and then there's like this linking strategy. And I'm actually curious. I've never looked at this one. This is a newer blog, right? SEO is a one-time task. No, I mean, if you get a website built correctly, I've shown you the one report where it goes up to the right. That was a one-time website build, and that person is consistently making money. I can guarantee you spot number one on Google. Tons of people can actually make those guarantees. I know many of them. More keywords equal higher rankings. And that is, yeah, so there's that stuff. Buying backlinks is a fast track. You might stumble across services like 5,000. Well, I know that these guys buy backlinks, so I don't understand that one. Long form contents, AI can replace writers. So yeah, that's how you start looking at content. And you can see the content strategy that was employed right there did not work.
And that compounds every single month and gets bigger and bigger. And the more traffic you get, the more Google starts to trust your site.
And you see how it says the more traffic you get, the more Google starts to trust your site. If I get more traffic to my website, does that mean Google's going to trust my site more? And it's not true. Google does not, and explicitly states that traffic to your website, it says no raw visitor number no raw visitor numbers, and it literally tells you no. Like it's people to your visit do not make Google trust your site more, or your pages higher in search results. Like it just does not. Is not even a thing. So, I'm over here being like, wait a minute. So if I go for lower keywords, people don't make money. If I go for harder keywords, apparently clients leave, which is untrue. You give them a map. You say, hey, you can go talk to this general contractor over here. It took us 4 months for him. He's in a town of like 1.9 million, or I think 2.9 million, somewhere around there. Bigger the city, bigger the bank account, because there's more money. And when you rank, you rip. Trust me, there's tons of people all around the world Googling, and they're everywhere. And so I see that and I'm like, what do you mean? So there's an influencer online telling me that the more visitors you get to your site, the more Google's going to begin to trust it. And most people don't know the deeper analyzation. And they see this, like it makes total sense why the advice sounds convincing, but the influencer is spreading a very common SEO myth. So, Mythbusters, it's a pretty interesting TV show. So, and this is a whole thing.
It's like getting let in through the back door while everybody else is waiting out front. Another thing I've been getting called out on is that I'm pushing tools that I made for you for free to use.
And I'm done watching that video. But I want you to see this, right? So clearly in the rise of content creation, traffic to a site is good. But sometimes what goes up seems to, in this case, have come down. And maybe it's going to do its arc and come back up. That's a thing for sure. But this shows that there was a strategy that was implemented. And what I want you to see that most people don't see is right around the September, right there, October, it just started kind of going in this direction. And Google just was said, goodbye. What happens, like what big update happened on Google around August 2024, September 2024 timeframe? And now when you look at this, Google rolled out a core update. Okay, they had a major algorithm change aimed at promoting genuinely useful content. And this is my personal opinion as to why this website seemed to have been taking a pretty decent hit, because the update happened here, it was kind of going, and then to go from nines, tens, 11s back down to the thousands, something was hit. And when you look at the actual content that was created, my personal belief here, just based on looking at this, right? Core update, genuinely useful content, adjusting ranking over here. It was rewarding original high value content and reducing visibility of unoriginal pages made for search engines. So a page that's considered made for a search engine is probably, how does the TikTok algorithm work? Because that is a direct search. How does the TikTok algorithm work? It's not, how the TikTok algorithm works. How does the TikTok algorithm work? Person asking a question, right? And I'm going to scroll in on these so you can just see them a little bit better. And this is where you can see like the build of all of these, like image alt text. That's okay. That's slash image alt text. Someone's going to see it. They're going to click on it. And then this is where I see it, like news jacking, internal linking guide for beginners. That could be a good one, right? Instagram map new feature for local business. To me, these 100% fall in the lines of unoriginal pages just made for search engines. Like there's nothing original about TikTok versus YouTube. There's nothing original about online shopping statistics. These are all very general, just kind of base searches. Maybe top 5 pizza places, sure. But when you really start looking at these, franchising, advertising, what is it and how do I do it? Or is ChatGPT Plus worth it? These are just genuinely queries that meet the search intent, which will obviously generate traffic. And it looks like, based on that update, that was the gigantic hit, because that's the only thing that changed right around that 2024 timeframe. And you can say, if someone was posting unoriginal content, would they start seeing a drop off immediately in August, or would it kind of happen a little bit after that? Like, when would you think that would happen? And the reason I'm putting this here is because I personally believe that, and it'll say like, oh, like anywhere between mid-August, early September 2024 would be, though the exact timing depends on how they process the sites. So when you look at stuff, right, you can see it's like, okay, mid-September, right, 18th right here, and then 29th, so end of September, it did decide to go down. So causation does not mean causation. That is just my personal, as I'm doing research and I'm trying to understand why people say certain things, and I'm like, what's going on over here? You can see that, went up, went down. And the interesting part is if you dive in further into influencers online, you'll see that influencers like to endorse each other and thank each other and then not apply their metrics. And then sometimes they even accidentally post a video that calls the other one out, but most people don't catch it. You just got to really pay attention to videos nowadays. So when we go and we kind of review agencies, which I have seen this one because I was like, who's this? And I started looking around and I noticed that there was a few things, and I think they're still the same. Yeah. So that says Google Ads. This one says type conversions. It should still, it's still a 404 error. This one is still a 404 error. This one's still a 404 error, and I believe this one's still a 404 error. And you can see if you do like post underscore type. This is just a script I have so I can search through internal links just to see where they are. So there's 4 of those that are broken on there, and I probably found that months ago. So I never really try to judge an agency by their website, but I like to use it as a gauge of, okay, like, are we employing these strategies for other people? Are we just employing these strategies for ourselves? And quick sidebar before we continue, I actually just caught this. Someone was asking me to look at something, and yeah, this is interesting. There's a person that was just in my live asking about hiring an agency in this area. And I have had personal run-ins with this brand. I will not leave any comments on it. However, I will tell you to just, once again, these are things that like 600% traffic increase. That's a 600% traffic increase right here. Great. And when you look at these websites, you'd think, wow, that's a lot. 600% traffic increase, 300% more online leads. Okay, cool. Give this guy a call, talk to him. And he might not remember, or maybe he's still working with them. I couldn't tell you. But this review here is 8 years old. Okay, this was uploaded September 13th, 2017. And when you go look at these, okay, so it's 2017 when this was uploaded. So way back here, they uploaded this review. So I assume they might have been working with them maybe since, I don't know, all time. It looks like he kind of, the data doesn't go back far enough. But 2017, that review came in, and we're sitting over here with analytics. We're going here, we're going there. I don't know, the couple 100% increase, 600% increase. I don't know. That's what is reported there. I would ask for maybe some sort of dashboard or something. Really, you'd have to look at it because, yeah, you can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of percents of increases. And what I see here is it looks like maybe they might have moved with somebody else here. Ah. And then it looks like they're just kind of, since 2022, kind of been in the same area. Because when I look at law firms, just to give you kind of an understanding of law firms, I'm looking once again through a little bit of a different lens. Like, okay, moving, publications, moving. You should always be slowly moving. And this one right here has been course corrected, so I think everything will be good as we move forward. But that's some stuff to look at. And yeah, negative keywords, still making more money. So when you do look at these, they could have been making less money here and making more money here. I can't tell you exactly. And when you see these spikes right here, these are just usually spammy domains. Some people are convinced that they can negative SEO campaign your website by buying a bunch of garbage links to it. It's just completely irrelevant. People do it. Sometimes you'll see businesses with hundreds of thousands of backlinks. I'm pretty sure I have hundreds of thousands of backlinks because you develop haters, and then they go and do stuff to you that's just pointless. Like, crazy that you took time out of your day to go put backlinks on my website. Anyways, thanks for the extra vote of confidence that my content's working really well. But that's what we start looking at there, because when I look at these, I say, whoa, that's a really old review. And then, you look at the next review, and then you want to find that 8-year ago review. All right, it's been a long time. So 8 years ago, I couldn't tell you who they're currently working with, but now look, you can apply the process I gave you. We don't have to go pull geogrids, which these were something that I was thinking about talking about in this video, but just briefly touching on geogrids, right? I pulled a large amount of geogrids over here, and I continue to pull them for random businesses that I look at. Like I was looking at this one where I know an individual paid a great deal of money for a website. And out of pure curiosity, I was like, do they even pick up there for that? Nope, that's interesting. And then I pulled this one up for service area to make sure that it was in the correct area. And then I pulled up the SEO agency one out of pure curiosity to see what it was putting at, but it was closed. So when you pull a grid when it's closed, it's going to give you not the best data. So I could obviously do that on another day when it's open just to see if the local SEO is being taken care of. Because when, once again, influencers post online telling you how you can grow your Google business profile, they should have grown their own. I'm a big believer in you needed to have done this stuff yourself. And if you haven't done this yourself, you shouldn't be doing it for other people. And I think that's a big disconnect in the marketing world where so many, in the conversation I had today with that lady checks out, so many people have never done something and they're like, let me move to this new industry over here. And I'm not talking about anybody specific. Let me move to this new industry over here and let me see if I can get that stuff done. Where she told me that flooring companies, they tried to do those and they failed. And I thought to myself, what? I'm like, we took a guy that was flipping pallets to now shipping truckloads of flooring out of his warehouse. And so he went from like 12K, I think he's at like 3.3 million right now. It's crazy. That guy sent a picture of how many of those, whenever that Clawbot came out, dude was buying all these MacBooks and said he was going to automate his life. And obviously, if you go to Google Trends here and you look up a thing called Clawbot, you search this, it was a little bit of a viral trend for people that didn't know how to control themselves. So let's just do maybe worldwide over the past, I think it's this Clawbot. Search that up. You could see that everybody was, oh my God, Clawbot, it's gonna revolutionize the world, and then no one cares anymore. So it's kind of interesting. It's like, and just so you understand Google Trends, you know, SEO, for instance, just so you really truly understand why so many SEO professionals have entered the chat. Yeah, SEO and just in general, do like past 5 years. Okay, it just started trending a lot more. And we're talking like double the trend itself almost. So tons of people are looking into this, and that's just due to like, AI websites. You search up AI website, and you can see that AI websites are becoming a thing. It's just, this is a platform that you can use to look at stuff like relevancy, trending reports, and so forth. Now, when you're reviewing agencies, well, 8-year review, call the person. Hey, still working with these guys? And if they are, then probably, yeah, probably not going to be a bad experience. Do the research I showed you how to do, but always, always, always really, truly check. Because if you don't check, then you might hire an agency because there's a large team of people. 2020 Thrive campaign of elevating excellence. And sure, tons of people have good experiences, tons of people have not good experiences. I can't speak for these guys. I've never worked for them, but I have, if you go ask around in the industry, people that are in the industry will have their own opinions. Like, why are we putting a picture of this map? This is that thing where it's like just you find one thing and you're like, what's this? Like, why do we have the picture of the map? And then we go search up the Houston address and then we see, huh, uh, Thrive Marketing, Houston, Texas, Google reviews. Okay, boom, over here, out of that building. Great, looking good. But then the question becomes, why didn't you just click here, and do what everybody else does and embed your business profile? Right? So you start asking yourselves certain questions. And just so you can understand this one, if I have the option to embed a map on my website and I can choose between my building address, Google embed a map, or my business embed a map, would choosing my business embed a map be more beneficial in any aspect for SEO at all versus embedding the building? And I'm going to let you just embedding an interactive map shows your business name and exact location, provides a stronger local SEO benefit than embedding a generic building address, creates clear verified connection to your Google profile, and helps search engines match your local search signals. God. So many websites I've come across don't even have that on there. And congratulations, you've just learned SEO 101. Scroll to the bottom of any website that you land on. Doesn't matter who it is. Local social media influencer doesn't have it over here. Random marketing agency that has the most massive wall of text I have ever seen in my entire life doesn't have it linked on their footer. Do they have it listed up here somewhere random? Looks like they linked the entire state of Phoenix. So you see how people kind of float around the ideology in the industry of what's actually going to produce a substantial amount of results, and that is just one step. Please not think by learning to connect your map to your footer that is only one step, and there is some manipulation that you do to that thing before you put it on there, but putting it on there is good. And then people will cry, black hat's bad, black hat's bad. Yeah, well, why are these guys, why do they have 700 pages? Because, yeah, look, Sun City, Florida, if I search this over here, boom, look at that. Seawall repair over here, right? Seawall repair, Sun City, and then Florida. Someone searches that up. They're right there. Smack dab. They're right there in the AI. They're right there in first and second place. So you can, once again, if you're in the right niche, and this is I'm gonna kind of end this video here. We're gonna do a part 2 a little bit later and just kind of summarize some stuff, right? If you come across a social media influencer online and they start posting about stuff, and it's kind of like hit or miss in people's responses. I'm sure the people that follow the person praise the person. Sometimes people may have used the information, it didn't work. I completely disagree with that type of content, because telling me to go add a description on my Google profile, like just so you understand my stance on influencers, and I'll move on. I want you to really pay attention to this screen right here. And I want you to pay attention to where it says 300 word limit. So if I, in this case, copy V, I go over that 300 word limit, I can't pass it. You're only allowed to write 300 words. Okay. You're only allowed to write 300. Now, I want you to listen to a most recent post from people who influence business owners and people in the SEO world.
If you want to rank higher on Google Maps, go to your Google business profile, click on performance, and then scroll down until you see a bunch of keywords. These are keywords people are using to find your Google business profile,
which you can find by just going to your Google business profile. That's great.
I want you to take one of those keywords, go into your services, click edit services, and add that keyword as a service.
Which was the car towing you saw right there. And then there's only 300 words.
As long as it's an actual service that you provide with your business. Then I want you to write a 300 to 500 character description.
How are we writing a 300 to 500 character description when, once again, it literally says 300 is your max? And I just want to wrap this video up because I can sit here and talk for ages. I'm going to summarize some things here for you, and, just general basics. Like if someone says, I can run your ads, well, they should have been able to open up an ads manager, like refresh the ads manager. You should have seen a video somewhere in their content where they opened up an ads manager and they went through their ads, and then they said, hey, here's ads that are working extremely well for this company over here. And they should be able to show you this. And that is kind of the rapport builder. It's, well, I mean, here's these ads. Do you want to run ads? And that's just a question that the business owner now has to answer. And then it's, hey, this business is generating leads. And they say, oh, well, can you connect me with that business that you have there? If it's a niche appropriate business, sure, sometimes. Sometimes you don't connect same niches. Like if you're in the marketing world and you meet a young guy that's into marketing, and he has a company and doesn't really understand marketing, but like wants to understand marketing. Never connect other people to people. Connect a cleaning company to a cleaning company once, and then the one guy was like trying to build a business in the other guy's town, and this guy was trying to give that guy advice, and it just turned out to be just a horrible connection. We ended up stop working with the other guy because he was losing his mind. And yeah, anyways, so let me go ahead and recap some information on this for you. Go ahead and open up a Google Docs so you can have access to it. I'm going to do my best with this, $2 level power presentation over here. But I think my number one thing for agencies is be human. Do you know what you're doing? Have you gotten results in that niche? Be forward about that. Be really honest. Like be human, be honest. It's the most important thing to do. I have gone to people before with ideas that I had no clue if they were going to work. I went to a breakfast place across the street because I was in the coffee shop every day, and I said, you know what, I got this idea about this QR code thing and like breakfast, t-shirts, and e-commerce, and I'm going to make the money and automations. Walked across the street, walked in, said, hi, my name is Joshua. I run this company. I was just wondering if the owner was in by chance. And they said, no, I'm the manager. How can I help you? And I said, well, I'd love to have a conversation about the website, some things I'd like to do. She's like, oh, please say no further. I've been trying to convince her for months to change the website. She's like, well, what is your information? Boom. I didn't even have to try. But if I never would have, number two, for everybody here, take action. Okay. You might not have hired a marketing agency. You might be afraid to hire a marketing agency. You might have a marketing agency and you haven't called your client. Your client's waiting for you, by the way. You know that. That's why we have a video-based reciprocity sales system that teaches you how to turn Google Maps into a gold mine so you can just go learn how to get them. You can genuinely go use what we use. And yes, may the best entrepreneur win, meaning if you are better at a service than somebody else, then they win. It is a game of fair system. You use the system and it works based on how good you work. It is rewarding to take actions. Now, when we transition, and this is like agency and business owner, if there's any business owners watching this, mention the word banana to me, and I'll make sure to take extra care of you because you're clearly a person that has the sheer willpower to understand this industry. And if you're a marketer watching this, mention the word giraffe to me, and I'll make sure I give you some extra special care because you're a person who has actually watched my content to the end. And trust me, on my call booking calendars, I will ask people what the secret phrase is. And people will like guess some random word and we just delete. And it's turning in this world. So some other takeaways, like it's churning in this world. The agency should be vetting you before you vet the agency, which it's obviously, as I just explained in this entire video, backwards. Me, I'm making sure that you're ready to actually grow, because what I've ran before is Facebook ads for restaurants, and those Facebook ads for restaurants. Sorry, I was getting a little off track, but those Facebook ads for restaurants did so well that the business actually had to close for a day because their staff was not prepared for the amount of people that showed up, and they were used to being just kind of slow. You show up to work, there's a couple tables, everybody's kind of hanging out, dishwashers don't got to try too hard, and oh my gosh, there's a wave of people we've never had before. So those are real realities. Now, the toolkit, obviously, it's going to be on the website. Number three, don't trust numbers on a screen. There was a recent post that someone made for what was it? It was an AI SEO app. That's actually what it was. It was a recent post for an AI SEO app, and they actually, I kid you not, let me go and actually grab that because you have to see it. It's insane. Yeah, that's this video right here where they see that guy pointing at that thing over there. They left that at 3 months, and the search console was actually listed out in years. So 8/12/20, 7/28/20, 5/12/19. So it's already going in years and goes all the way to 2017, and these numbers are fake. And if you search this query right here, it doesn't even go to a blog. Like if you search, just check this, just humor me, pig out snacks. So the industry is getting so bad to the point that could it be this pig out snacks company here? Not sure. Could it be this pig out company snacks here? Not sure. I have no idea which one it is, but this website right here goes to a removed product. So they're literally advertising a product to do SEO for you, and then when you search the thing that they said was there on their Google Search Console, it was this, and then it's this, which is not really a blog of any sort that any sort of AI would have written because it was created 6 years ago. And this is the stuff you need to literally read. You need to do not trust numbers on a screen. Read, research, or you will be screwed. It is the best thing to do. And I'm not saying you'll be screwed if you don't research stuff. Just genuinely know who people are, right? If you go look at my content, some people say I'm not nice. Oh, I don't care, because I'm sick and tired of the number of
It's the guy that
businesses
made
out here that make fake cold calls, and then they tell you to go grab a business, and then they go pretend to generate a website over here, and then they tell you go sell it, and then you go look, and the website's not there, and that's all these videos have become. Like, they're telling you to go do something that they don't even do themselves. And now the entire industry is filled with a bunch of young men feeling like they're behind in life because they see all these other people selling websites and pretending that they have something that these other men don't have, and it's not real. It's completely incorrect. And then you have a pouring in of all of those individuals, and now the marketing world is becoming not saturated. A lot of people say the word saturated, like all these other people are doing it. Yeah, the average AI website you look at is going to be non-competitional. I'm not worried about this website existing on the internet. I'm actually glad it exists on the internet, because then that tells me the business owner hasn't reached that point of investing in enough websites. The marketing agency is selling those types of websites. And when you see that little chat function on the bottom corner right here, this is your go high level chat function. And sometimes you can click on that right there, which sends you to another. We help local service businesses dominate their market, and nothing says dominate the market, as you saw earlier with this one, where they have mismatched Bing profiles, the website's indexing for one page. So this has become the reality, where it's SEO, high converting websites, and automated systems for contractors who are done being invisible online. And they're invisible online. They're actually literally invisible online. And that's quite the thing to say there. And you see that, and maybe, hey, case studies, go follow up with these guys, go call them. Maybe it was a fluke where that website was not set up correctly. Results over time, clicks, Google clicks, leads. I mean, that everybody wants their chart to look like that. Make sure that you request here, ready? Make sure that you request this. Hey, show me the person that had a 325% improvement. Okay, and that's not like, visible to having a website. Trust me, anybody can share those. So those are general results, like didn't really get leads. Show me somebody that was able to triple their leads in a month. So before, after, how long did that take? Ask questions. Google rank 18.3. Okay, they moved from 18 to 3. Show me that keyword. Who is it? What is it? Is it a revenue producing keyword? When we have this, like, leads here, okay, leads. Can you show me whose dashboard this is, please? Because otherwise it's just not real. And this is stuff that you need to ask for. Like, I consult for many companies, and there's like, okay, you need to hire a person for this, you need to hire a person for this. Fractional CMO side of the world is, oh, you're starting a company? Okay, cool. We're going to need to hire somebody for this. Normally, I already have a person that's ready to do a majority of the things. Oh yeah, this all done. But sometimes it's like, hey, we're about to get into a contract with these guys right here. What do you think? And I said, well, let's get on a call. Let's ask some questions. There was an HVAC company that I remember, and that guy's stuff, it just kind of fell off a cliff somewhere. And I said, you started working with this guy. I was like, who'd you hire around this time period? He said, oh, these guys. And those are guys. And by the way, I'm not, once again, this agency, those are people that were senior, whatever they call themselves. Like, I was the senior, whatever person that does websites or something. And I'm on the call and I'm saying, well, this guy invited me on the call because he said that you guys are not making him money. So explain to me what you plan on fixing over the next few weeks to solve the problems that I showed you. And then they go off and start saying all this other stuff like, well, we're not going to share our proprietary information, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean, you're welcome to not share any of it. Well, whenever you send it to me or you're going to email it to him, I'm going to get a copy of it and I'm going to read it anyways. So sure, yeah, you guys can do that. If you don't have an answer, that's totally fine. I didn't expect one. And I've been on so many of those calls where it's insane. I'm talking, you sit down with somebody and they say, yeah, it looks like we missed your onboarding. Because I asked, well, hey, the website still has 3 different states over here. The business owner mentioned that he's not serving those states. Why is it there? And turns out $3,600 in, all that was done is an age tag update, a page created, and a couple backlinks purchased. And the average $1,800 a month strategy is to create 2 blogs and wait for you to find out. So when I come across this, it's just, to me, I already don't trust it because I don't see any links to any of their services down here. And there's a links button. So you see how they didn't even link their own services? These are things that you have to start to look for because it's almost impossible to tell the difference. Like, wow, the website, it's got words, it looks like a website, red flag here whenever you have these types of things, they're just AI generated, at least for me. And nobody does this. Nobody goes down to here and builds this and just they didn't link those like that. You linked those. So just be very, very aware when you go and look at things. Because now this one has like, oh, pressure washing leads. So like month 1, 4. Oh no, they're moving up a few leads a month. That is not a good rate. If you Anyways, I'm not here to pick apart this entire website. What I want you to do is just slide this down right here because I like the window to be the correct size on my laptop. Boom. All right, perfecto. We're back to perfect size. Now, go ask them to give you who these people are. Sure, I'd love to talk to Carla V. Pest Control. Setup was painless. 2 weeks we were live. I wish I had done this years ago. I'd like to talk to Carla V. And then just you should ask this. And if they disappear, you got your answer. Right. And that is a reality because I've created a lot of videos online. And guess what? You know what they do when you make a video about them that says something? They delete you. And then they move on. So number 1, be a real human if you're an agency watching this. Number 2, take action. Like either go help people because you can help them. And I've coached so many people that were really good. And I said, dude, why? I was like, this is pretty good. Like you got results over here. You got better results than, dude, I just came across a guy charged $1,500 a month. He's being charged $1,500 a month and they never even set up his Facebook pixel. He says, what? And that guy's charging $300 a month to run ads. There's so many people that are younger that are actually good. And for some reason, I think they're just afraid to charge money. I couldn't actually isolate it. So use the tools that we went over. And now you can actually apply this process anywhere. And I even bought up this one because this is you don't own your own website. And if you look here like online present, website changes, responsiveness, quick, clear expectations, I have to take a minute to share my experience. I was with this company. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody knows you'll understand if you're a business owner and you know who these companies are. Well, bless your heart, my friends. I look forward to hopefully maybe having a conversation with you one day soon. But, non-existent on 19 and helped us get this, and that's great. And then boom. We entered the digital marketing agreement, beginning this, clarification, every email, every document, every start date, clarified canceling, and yep. And then they're the real deal. Most digital marketing companies only post ads with no knowledge of performance or anything. And then, if we look up Renew 360, I can look up Renew 360. I don't know if that's them or not. Couldn't tell you. It's going to be impossible to find. So you can go dive into these and you can find out who these people are. My business is Gold Coast Pools. The only way I'd be satisfied is if I get a full refund from these guys. And and they're at $800 to $900 a month. So I'm going to, oh, they're going to sue, I guess. So I'll just not read that one. And then I'm just reading through these. These are, I haven't even touched the newest reviews. I just clicked all and started scrolling. And you see, like, they're the real deal, and none of them ever talk about anything. They were a local agent here in town who actually understood the local market, which people work all over, and that's awesome. And when there's a price point that most business owners can afford, then yeah. But if you're paying below $1,500 a month, I'm going to tell you right now that nope. And if you're paying above $1,500 a month, you better have some sort of these are leads that are coming in, some way to track them. You need to be very on top of what's going on, and if things aren't moving by into like 3-4 months in, 5 months absolute max, you need to be figuring out a plan on stopping things, getting proof that there was work that was actually done, and moving from there. But hired these guys in 2025. They spent generating leads immediately. $15,000 spent. They built me a website. Spend more. Trying to cancel was a horror story. Yep, I learned that's a horror story. Absolutely. Pay a little more to have someone put in time, and then yeah, like all of these, just boom, boom, boom. It's really hard to actually find the Google profiles for these, because if you type in High Boost Social, um, you actually can't find them. Like, there's no natural prompting of a Google profile. Like, it doesn't exist. So you're here and you're like, huh, that's weird. Like, I can't find it. And then most people would be like profile, and they'd be searching this stuff up. And I'm actually curious if this business has reached a point of where it actually, this is that law firm we were looking at. Oops, keyword search. I'm very curious if this was ever searched enough to be found. No. All right, cool. That'd have been kind of cool if you could see that somewhere, because if you go to Google Trends and search this up, that'd be an interesting thing to see if that actually popped up, because it is challenging to find. And sometimes when things are challenging to find, you might get a little bit of somebody searching something. I'm just looking too far into things. So when I'm looking at all of this, I'm trying to make the best determination possible. I'm looking at the information. I'm reading through this. People signed. They paid this much and got one lead. Complained after the first month. They were unfortunately, yeah. So this right here, for anybody who is genuinely trying to help somebody, here, this is Foundation Repair Experts, and now they're on a WordPress templated website that someone kind of built, and yeah, that's where this business owner is currently at. And is it better than his previous website? Yeah, it's not their website because it doesn't have the little up here in the corner. So something happened over here. He must have slipped through the cracks. And how is this a WordPress website? Because I've been staring at websites for 10 plus years. As soon as I land on it, you can see WP content right there. I already know what platform people are building on before I have to do some AI thing. And I just wanted to kind of end this video here and just extend a lifeline to anybody out there. If you're trying to get into the marketing industry and you want to understand how stuff works, sure, it's going to cost you money. Okay, you don't got money, start for free. Go to the lead generation page, go to the Facebook ads page. It'll teach you how to do stuff if you're watching this on my website. If you're a business owner, probably, this person over here 2 months ago had a bad experience. This over here had a bad experience, right? Sometimes, yeah, like, this person is obviously doing something for their business, but these would be the people that you would take your skills and services to help. And me personally, I don't try to push on calling random people on the internet anymore. I'm already tapped with what I do. And then I layered this project on my life as well, and it's just absolute a lot. So I'm trying to balance my own stuff. But you can see that there's a business owner who did not have a good experience. 2 months ago, they said they had a terrible experience 2 months ago, whatever, to the agency. In the world of SEO, if you sign a paper that says, I'm going to do SEO for you, and I do SEO, which build pages and make it show up when people search, I did SEO. That's genuinely the legal framework of it. It's not a lead generation company. So if you get no leads, then yeah, $13,000 for one lead, that's normal. Sounds crazy, but you're looking at it happen right here. And then, so now these individuals, if you have a marketing agency, these are the people that need help. These are the people that are tired of being screwed over. So if you're a new agency, you could go to them about that experience. You could purchase a course that teaches you how to build websites. We have one. You could understand how to run Facebook ads. You could go to this person who clearly has money and has spent it and is trustworthy and believes in marketing enough to spend $13,000 and get one lead. Maybe that's not his full experience. I don't know. I can't validate any of this information because I'm not the client paying the agency. I'm the one getting emails from the clients that pay people. And oh my gosh, when you really, if you were on my side, you'd say, whoa, how do we stop this? You just can't. You truly can't stop this. It's an industry that there's people there's 50,000 people lying online right now about 50,000 plus a day lying about making money online, selling websites with AI. Just go do this. Here, I use this app over here for this thing. And it's just the people that really understand it. Yeah, you guys get it. This industry, it's, influencers, all that other stuff. I have nothing against anybody. I am a human who is having a human experience here on earth. And hopefully when I pass, I did good enough and God says good job. And that's the only person that I say, I hope I did a good job. At the end of the day, I hope making this content and sitting here talking for a very long time really inspires one person to truly be real in an industry that the business owner doesn't understand. It's extremely complex. It would be like you going to work with one of these guys and trying to understand their job. You'd be like, well, and you wouldn't even understand their job. And then now imagine how much harder it is when there's so much obscurity, complexity, layered just lies on the internet, misinformation, just tons of stuff that just absolutely doesn't add up. Like saying to add a description and then write 300 to 500 characters, or telling people that they should go on this platform and they should go buy this domain and you need to do these next things right now. Do this on your Google profile and you'll rank higher. And it becomes this like grab a board of wood and one nail, and you now have a board of wood and a nail. Don't worry about buying a nail gun. You would just buy a board and get a nail, and then get this rock and hit that nail into the board against the wall, and you now have a board in the wall. And then that's how like people are teaching you how to build your home. They're like, go find dirt, and then now with that dirt, you're going to go ahead and lay your foundation. It's like, so we didn't survey or anything. We didn't look. We're not like on top of a mine, a sinkhole. Are we in the right place? Is this the right place to build? So you see how there's just this large industry. It's truly it's billions. And all I have ever seen, because most of the people that you reach out to or are reaching out to you are in that situation of, man, things aren't going that great. Things aren't going that great. Because when things are going great, they're not reaching out to anybody. You're not having people that are well taken care of coming to you, or well taken care of saying, oh yeah, absolutely, we want to work with you. So every client that you take on is a person who was not in a good position and they're just trying to get into a better position. And sometimes it's going to take 5 to 6 agencies, 1 to 6 agencies later. We've met people that built the business and they wanted to build another business, and we say, sure. We've met people that were running out of money, and we said, all right, we'll do performance retainer with you, which means we're going to build your stuff. We're going to invest money. Your credit card's going on the Google ad account. We'll set it up. We'll run it. We'll get you to where you're making money, to where you're taken care of. And then we're going to start making a lot more. Like, we are going to scale this business because we want to make money. And I think that one will be between I think $100,000 to $400,000 a year from that one, just one. And that's the playing field that I would love to introduce other people to, but honestly, it takes a really long time. So if you're a business owner and you're watching this, I'd love to take a look. And if you're a marketer watching this, I'd love to teach you how to take a much deeper look. And there's layers to this reality. So I appreciate you all for watching this video. And my really only final takeaway is, please just do the right thing. Do the right thing when no one's looking, because someone will look. And when they do, What are they going to see? So appreciate you for watching this video. And actually, if you look at my stuff, you'll see straight up haters creating fake websites about me. You'll probably see posts all over the internet. Hell yeah. I knew I was going to stumble into some beehives over here. And my friend, we just got started. So I just wanted to post this video for people to understand, like, hey, look, here, boom, here's a person. You can go to my lead generation page right now. You can go from my lead generation page to this person's website, and you can see Facebook ads. You can see they're not running Facebook ads. Awesome, cool. But they may have run them because they have some following over here. And the business owner is behind the camera. That's my guy. That's your guy right there. That's the guy. That's the one. That's the everyone's been messing stuff up because this man is behind a camera.
Right now we got the concrete curing. We got another spot over there we took care of. Up in North Kansas City over at Safar Filtration.
This is the guy. And for those of you who might not understand what I'm saying is it's so hard to find service-based business owners who are willing to do that. That right there. So I appreciate you for watching this video. I hope you all have a beautiful day and you choose what happens next. There's free content, there's a course. Or you continue to just scroll around the internet, go look at random stuff online. I don't know. All I know is I'm going to continue to post content. I'm going to continue to call out things that don't make sense to me. I'm waiting for Monday to roll around so businesses are open so I can pull GeoGrids so I can make an accurate video to refute the 300 to 500 words. What are you talking about? It's 300 words. And then it's like, oh, oops, I don't know how it's happening, but it's happening. And I don't like when things are not correct. And they can be correct and should be correct and would be correct, could be correct if I think if everybody just kind of just stopped a lot of the crazy stuff. So appreciate you all for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. But don't forget to check out the links up above and down below. That's all I got, because I will literally ramble for the next 5,000 years on this, because I cannot tell you the number of stories I've experienced, the number of businesses I watched go out of business, the number of people that got into contracts that unfortunately couldn't get out of them because, well, they signed a contract and then even tried to go to court over things and completely lost because, well, you hired an SEO agency, not a lead generation agency, is the thing you hear so many times over. It's like, yeah, we lost. Why? What did they say? Oh, they said we hired an SEO company and they did things that made us rank and emailed us. Like, seriously, do something from here. Either join us, and if you're a business owner, you want to learn how to do this stuff, yeah, it's going to take you a long time. We have the resources for people who want to learn to sell this service and fulfill this service, and business owners who are just tired of hiring marketing agencies and want to do this themselves. So take your pick. See you. Bye. Thanks for watching.